friend.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the first episode of Pitch and Bitch with Becca and Jayme. Hi, Jayme.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing good too. Welcome.
Right? I'm so excited. Today, for our first episode, our first season is all about cannibalism.
Yum.
We're going big, so I hope you guys are ready. This is going to be a great time. I'm pumped. So today we're going to talk about the movie Raw from 2016, directed by Julia Ducornau and starring Garance Millier. It is the story of a young French vegetarian vet student who is starting her first semester at college, and after being forced to eat meat for the first time as part of a series of hazing rituals, she develops a taste for human flesh.
Zun, zun, zun.
Alors, oh no, what are we going to do? I'm so sorry. Okay. So this movie premiered at the 2016 Cannes Film Festival. It was very well received at the time. It currently has a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Its budget was approximately $3.5 million US or 3.8 million euro. And its total box office takings were approximately 3.1 million US dollars. Just below. I think it was like 3.098. So like just below.
That's not a bad size bite.
Yeah, that's actually not bad, especially for like a relatively independent, small budget French film. I feel like that's pretty good for a global taking.
100%.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this. This movie kind of explores some really fun, weird themes that I'm super into. Yeah, so we've got coming of age, because I'll go ahead and burn one of our fun facts right now, which is that the director, Julia Ducornau, does actually not consider this a horror film. She considers this a coming of age drama comedy that is meant to be disturbing, but not actually scary, which is a very interesting take.
And of course, just by watching it, so funny.
I mean, I feel that way, but I have made some social situations very awkward by expressing that sentiment before, so I know I'm in the minority of finding cannibalism funny.
There definitely was some moments. I have not seen this film. It was definitely a good time for sure. The coming of age part was also extremely interesting, especially because with all of the body stuff, it was perfect for our French extremity.
Of course, new French extremity. Perfect.
Nouveau.
Look at you go. So proud.
Right?
Yeah, I really liked their use of the body horror when it came to coming of age. I always think that's kind of a fun thing to explore, like, you know, where you have something like Ginger Snaps, for example, or something like that, where you kind of use that horror, I think is really fun. But I did like that this took it to a place of university, because I feel like we have seen the whole sort of like high school hell metaphor many times. I do love it, big Buffy fan, but like it was more interesting to see that in a slightly older, more academia heavy environment. And also, I lived in a dorm in college. Thankfully, I did not get hazed. I don't know if that's like... I knew it was a thing in the States. I don't know if it's quite that intense in France, but like, damn, y'all be wildin' if that's anywhere close to the truth.
For veterinarian school,
They get crazy.
to be a vet, what kind of school is this?
Right? It's like, this school is very intense for like a lot of different reasons.
I like the fact that it was like freshman 15, but the opposite.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that one scene with her in the bathroom and the girl's like, you should use 2 fingers.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to apologize if this potentially triggers anybody, but like the happy little bulimic girl who was just like so excited to offer her advice on how to have an eating disorder and was like super happy in the mirror. Like, I just did a good thing. Like, what? Girl, what?
Like, just usually offer a mint or,
Yeah.
you know, like, I think the friendship, the camaraderie should be shown differently than, like, let's give other types of advice. Like, maybe, like,
Or, you know, maybe like work up to that.
Yes,
Just like right off the
100%.
bat. Yeah, so do we want to get into it since I feel like we're already kind of starting to get into it?
Yes, let's get into it. This movie was, first off, oh my gosh, opening scene.
Wild.
How rude.
Wild. Okay. So we are going to go through the movie scene by scene in case we hadn't figured that out yet. And it's going to be obviously spoiler filled. So if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, God, I'm so sorry that you have to edit all of this.
Oh, that's no problem at all. I just appreciate everybody for taking the journey, taking the ride with us. We're new here, so please be with us.
It's going to be great.
As we be with you.
Exactly. Sure. Is that our new tagline? Be with us as we be with you.
I've got 6 different mugs printed already.
Yes. Yes, I need a bumper sticker, and I need it like yesterday, even though I don't have a car.
Evo's baby. The more the merrier.
Let's go. All right, so we open with a shot of a backcountry road, mostly empty, with a young woman walking down it towards the camera, but very far away. And I actually had to pause it when I was watching it because I didn't catch it, but she causes an accident in the opening scene. She runs out in front of this car and it crashes into a tree. She's in the middle of the road. And then it gets weird. She stands up and proceeds to investigate the accident. Hard cut. We're now at a buffet. We meet our protagonist, Justine. She and her parents are eating at a roadside restaurant from a buffet. The person serving Justine asks if she would like any protein or meat, and she replies, no, thank you. She is a strict vegetarian.
The way that lady slapped those potatoes on the plate, how rude.
I know, that was aggressive.
There was a lot of rudeness in these few opening scenes. Loved how the shot was static wide. That was such a beautiful shot. The color grading is quite nice. I like how it's blue. It shouldn't. It's quite simple, but it definitely works. And then she just gets up. Yeah. When she gets up, I was like, okay, definitely that's one way to do it. Okay. Yeah. But then when she got up, no.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
What? Exactly. What's happening here? What really struck me about the opening sequence was actually how stark the imagery was. Like, you've got the sort of blue grade, as you were saying, but like the big open sky, an open field, an empty road, and just like a few trees a little distance apart, but no like underbrush or anything. It's just very sort of bare, like almost barren is the word that comes to mind.
And then oh my gosh, I just made this silly realization that she is very deer-like in that scene.
That's true.
Because you just kind of come out of nowhere. And then she's wearing a unicorn shirt. The unicorn shirt, I could not get past it.
I didn't clock that. She's wearing
a unicorn shirt.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
Okay, I get that you're trying to show.
And then we cut to the diner, which has a much more sort of like yellow, warm, almost inviting, but not quite tone, like the way that a roadside diner would feel, where you're like, yeah, people can come here, but you probably don't want to stay. Like alty. And so we have Justine eating a meal with her parents, and she is just chowing down that plate of mashed potatoes that was so aggressively served to her when she discovers a piece of meat has been mixed in. Her mom is really intense about this. She immediately is like, did you bite it? Oh my God, spit it out. Oh my God, and goes to talk to the management. Like, it's a little weird. That was the first red flag for me. I was like, why are you so intense about this? Like, she didn't eat it.
For a second, I thought she was upset because there was butter in it. And it turns out she was like, when the reveal of just having that hunk of sausage in there, and it's like, how did you not bite it?
Yeah, like you're eating mashed potatoes.
When the mom was aggressive, in that moment, I didn't really know how to read it as like, why are you, like, I thought it was like she was just so innocent, they're so protective of her. But that will make sense later. Yeah. Spoiler.
Well, for me, I think the reason it struck me was like the dichotomy between the mom and the dad, where the mom's like freaking out and the dad literally just sits there and is just like smoking and is just like chilling.
Oh, smoking in a restaurant.
Oh, smoking everywhere in this movie. So French.
Bonjour.
So French. So they finish their meat-free meal and go to drop Justine off at her new campus where her sister Alexia is meant to be meeting them. And she straight up ghosts. She does not show up. It is very clear that there is a lot of strain and tension on the relationship between Alexia and her parents. We don't know why, but we assume that they have probably been no contact since her father sort of alludes to her not picking up the phone when they call. But it does seem that Justine and Alexia at least have a somewhat better relationship because she, in theory, will pick up if Alexia calls. What really struck me the most about this is how disconnected her dad is. We're just like, they rock up, Alexia's not there, and he's like, well, she's not coming. Just like, out we go. That's it. And I'm like, damn, what happened here? Like,
Exactly. I was intrigued by the part where the mom just randomly points out, like, oh, there's the hospital and there's the morgue.
right?
Like,
Why is there a morgue?
on my college drop-off day, it's like, there's Montana's. There's Tim Hortons.
Yeah, there's the grocery store.
Yep. All these
There's
different
the
places.
laundromat if you need it. Like,
Better places to eat.
and then once your parents leave, there's the campus bar where they don't ID. Like,
So cold, though.
very cold, very, very cold. And like, you can tell that obviously her dad like loves Justine because he, says goodbye to her and all this stuff. But like, there's some weirdness there and you don't really know why. So our next sequence, Justine is asleep in her dorm room and she is awoken by her new roommate, Adrien, who is a gay man. She requested a woman, but I guess they thought a gay man was good enough, was Adrian's explanation. So here we are. And he immediately hands her a ski pole. And basically they hear a whole bunch of people ripping down this hallway, blaring music, banging, screaming, yelling. Legit feels like there's some kind of invasion happening in this dorm right now. My note here just says, hazing commences, France, y'all wildin'. Like, kids in masks are ripping kids out of their dorm rooms, throwing mattresses out the window. All of the kids are herded into the hallway, told to basically shut up and do what they're told, and are then ushered out of their dorm. I know American hazing is intense, but like, I guess French hazing is too.
I repeatedly kept asking myself, what kind of school is this?
Right? That's something I always wonder about. Like, whenever you hear about crazy hazing, I'm like, and the school knows about this? Because, like, I feel like if you pulled that here, you would get in so much trouble. Like, so much trouble. But again, I could be wrong. I went to a really small university, so I honestly don't know.
I just went to a college, so there wasn't necessarily that, but there's like the get to know everybody week where you get to know everybody.
Oh yeah, there was I won't name it because it didn't have a specific name, but there was one really big kegger at my school that happened like every October, and that was it.
I think like the more horrifying part of this film was definitely just being in shared dorms, no sense of space, no being able to focus on her academics, even though we'll get to it, but damn, that teacher was an asshole.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
I feel like that man has not gotten laid possibly ever, and that's why he doesn't like smart women.
Get a haircut.
Yeah.
That's all.
Take a shower. Get a haircut.
Good cut.
Be nice. Like, it's not that hard.
Ours sometimes not that high.
Right? Right? Like Alti.
Yeah.
I mean, women talk about it all the time. The bar is in hell. Like, it's not that hard.
It's because we like warm weather.
It's true.
We do. Like a good sandal season.
Right? We love a hot shower.
Yeah. Brings us back.
Exactly. All right. So we then cut to all of the first year students being forced to crawl on all fours through what looks like a basement.
Ooh, I did. The director, you can just tell, loves the genre because there was so many good homages, and like especially in the genre. That scene when they're all crawling was definitely reminiscent of another movie. I forget which one because I don't want to get it confused because people will get upset with me. But there's like good imagery. There's obviously like the one that will come across like when you get to it. But
yeah, very soon.
But yeah, definitely them all crawling. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's safe to say that Julia Ducornau knows what she's about, and I'm here for it.
Wait.
I am here for it. Madame. She could be a mademoiselle. I don't know. I don't know if she is married or not. And I'm not going to Google it.
A lucky person.
Yeah, so they are crawling on the floor, being treated as animals. And this is basically the first moment that Justine and Adrien actually introduce themselves and kind of like have a moment where they're like, well, we're in this together, is kind of the vibe. Like, let's do this. And they are then ushered into their first party of the semester, which compared to the opening sequence that felt so like open and kind of stark and all this stuff, this scene is sweaty. It's close. It is potentially stinky. It is intoxicated. It is, sexy. It's everything. It's up close. It's personal. It's in your face.
It was so fun not having seen this movie because I thought it was going to get so fucking gross.
I thought it was going to get so bad.
I was so scared.
I was like, oh, thank God, it's a party. Oh my God, thank God.
The sense of relief knowing it was just a party. We've all seen Human Centipede too.
But also, I feel like
sorry, that's a generalization, not sure.
I mean, yeah. I also feel like that's a credit to Julia Ducornau, though, because this is your opening sequence, and before the audience even realizes it, you have built so much tension about what's going to happen to this girl, because we all know, unfortunately, some of the terrible things that happen to girls in their first year of college. So when you have that expectation to then sort of enforce that, create that tension, and completely subvert it is so fun. And I also love her use of color. That was what struck me in this scene. Everything is red and like purple, not quite bisexual lighting. We're not quite there, but it's like, as I say, it's sweaty, it's red, it's up close, and it's just the polar opposite of the beginning of the movie. So having that, like having the character of Justine hit with that level of dichotomy, it does make you understand why she potentially feels so disoriented and so fish out of water, like out of her element. It makes a lot of sense.
I like the fact that there's almost kind of this theme of like addiction as well, because like that's kind of how it starts too.
Yeah.
It's like it starts off with the first party, and it's so easy. If you're a former good time gal like myself,
Retired baddies over here.
it's still like a good time, but
it looks a little different now, and that's okay.
it's 100% okay. But it's a very slippery slope.
Yep.
It starts with wanting to be accepted, and especially the part of it kind of being passed down and her sister not talking anymore and kind of getting into the party lifestyle as well. And that's the other thing I really, really liked is I was taking notes because I'm such a big note taker.
Oh my God, same.
And it was nice being able, even though if I missed some of the dialogue, you're able to still understand the story throughout without having to, check on the subtitles the whole time. So if you are weary because it is in another language, it's a really good time. It's definitely a fun watch. I can see why people talk about it.
Yeah.
I can see why we're talking about it.
Exactly.
I definitely was so happy to have things that I thought weren't gonna. I thought things were going to be a certain way, and they were not a certain way.
Yeah, and honestly, credit to Julia Ducornau. That's what I really like about this movie. And also just like that's one of the qualities I look for in some of my favorite directors is show me, don't tell me. Obviously dialogue is a tool that you use in movies to explain your story, but realistically, the more you can show me instead of having, for example, like a character exposition dump or some kind of like voiceover or something like that, I think it's so much more interesting when somebody leans into the other side of that and does it really well, which is what I feel like this movie absolutely does. So I would definitely recommend it to anybody, even if you don't speak French, if you're not really somebody who's necessarily into subtitled movies. I would say if you're a horror fan, still check it out. It's worth it. And also, what are you doing if you don't watch subtitled movies? Like friend to friend, because we are all friends here. Get it together. You're missing out on so much good stuff. Like so much good stuff. There's a whole new world of scary movies and movies of all kinds waiting for you if you just start reading those subtitles.
We just like pictures.
Exactly.
That move.
And also like let's all tea. Dubs are terrible. So just like go for the subtitles.
Oh, I can't
with dubbed movies unless it's like purposefully bad, because then it's funny, but like I can't.
If you can.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. You are built different. I'll say that much.
I will say that much.
Okay, so we have this sort of crowded, sweaty, colorful, wild, drug-fueled party. At one point, we even see a couple basically dosing each other by placing something on someone's tongue and then making out all over the place. Like, this party is wild. And
Europe is different.
Europe is different. Well, I mean, I do know people who went to frat parties like that. So if you go to a big school, that's not unique to Europe. We just both had that cute little small town experience, which I love for us. So this is where we are introduced to Alexia, who is Justine's older sister. She's a second-year veterinary student, possibly third. They just say she's older, don't really specify. And her pet dog, Quickie, who is a giant, I believe, German Shepherd. Malinois, something like that. My friend who works with dogs, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry that I can't identify that breed. And I know you will make fun of me later. So they meet each other at the party and decide to go get some fresh air, where Alexia sort of starts to show Justine around the school, including showing her the class photos from previous years, including the year their parents attended, because this is where their parents met and fell in love. And in the photos, all of the vet students are drenched in blood. An entire crowd of them. You can see right off the bat when you meet Alexia that she is the opposite of Justine in most ways. Justine is very much painted as being kind of like young, maybe a little naive, like not quite somebody who I would describe as a Mary Sue, but like kind of that vibe. She's very, very young in a lot of ways. And you can see that Alexia, at least for someone her age, has been around the block a couple of times. Like, girl likes to party. She knows what her sister is about to go through in terms of hazing because she's already done it. And you also see that she has little to no sympathy for her sister in that sense. She definitely gives sort of like rebellious big sister vibes, but I do feel like there is almost an undercurrent of violence to Alexia in a way. Like, she's the kind of girl you meet at a party where you're like, damn, you're a great time, but I don't want to be on your shit list. Like, I'm a little bit scared of you.
Oh, 100%. We're both younger sisters, so she gave older sister energy for sure.
Mm-hmm. But like mean older sister energy.
Yeah, like you guys aren't friends yet.
No, like you're still in that awkward phase when you're teens where you kind of fucking hate each other, but you understand that you're siblings at the end of the day. You haven't yet progressed to the we're both in college and adults and we can actually just coexist.
But we'll definitely get to the part where she just, like usually you share a shirt or a pair of jeans.
Ooh, see, my sister and I, we shared some things, but only after we got older. When we were teenagers, it was absolutely not. I was not allowed near any of her stuff.
I did it for the danger.
I mean, I would try sometimes, but she would get really mad at me. So
her as a character, she was definitely a wild one. Like 100%, like you said, good time at parties. Mm-hmm. Do not want to see you after 3 a.m.
No, I don't want to know what you're up to after 3 a.m. because it's nothing good.
And if it's by some backyard furniture,
no ma'am.
Get away.
No ma'am.
Definitely. The party scene is interesting. How we're even introduced to the sisters, interesting too.
That's true. You just see her shaking that ass, and then all of a sudden her sister grabs her leg, and it's like, oh, hey, big sis, shaking that ass up on a stage. Love that for you.
Because everybody's having a good time. Everybody's sweaty. I definitely have my note here is peek-a-boob.
Yes, lots of that, because all these kids are still in their pajamas for when they got ripped out of bed earlier in a hazing. So there's like a whole lot of underwear-clad butts and no pants and things like that.
It also made me extremely uncomfortable because I like to be well prepared at a party.
Same.
I like to have a little hand sanitizer, maybe some tissues, some portable tissues, just in case there's no toilet paper. You never know.
I mean, I just like to be dressed for the occasion. I don't want to be in my PJs because also, like, I don't know about most people, and definitely not in a dorm room situation, I guess, but like, who sleeps in pajamas?
For real.
Right? Like, what about that one poor kid who they probably scooped naked? Like, there's always one in every dorm. But like, yeah, man, I look insane when I go to bed. Like, got those overnight curlers in, like looking nuts. Like, I'm not ready for that. I don't need that to be my intro to all my new dorm mates.
Now that mouth tape is popular.
Oh my God, the morning shed girlies where they've got their like face mask and mouth tape and like everything. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine trying to rave with all that shit on?
That's too much. It's just.
But she would also have her perfect silk sleeper set, so she would, or at least her outfit would be on point. I'll give her that.
I don't believe they sleep in those.
I mean, they are pretty comfy. Have you ever slept in one? They're actually pretty comfortable.
Well, I know what I'm getting myself.
Yeah, do it. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself some silk.
Treat yourself.
So we get introduced to the sister. Alexia. And I like how she's like even a little bit taller too. Mm-hmm. Just definitely comes in. The older sister energy, it really got me.
Yeah. The being physically bigger, that doesn't necessarily faze me because I am about 4 inches taller than my sister. Like, it's like 3 or 4 inches. I don't remember. So I've been bigger than her for a long time. I always had that on my side, but
that's hilarious.
I mean, that said, especially growing up, my sister could still intimidate the hell out of me. She was still my big sister. So
Exactly. It's just whenever you decide to fight back.
Oh, basically it was when she figured out that I was bigger than her. Like, that's what that was. She was like, oh shit.
Wake me up inside.
Well, I mean, yeah, anyway, we don't need to get into it. But yeah, my sister's also like 6 years older than me. So by the time I was bigger than her, she moved out. So it was fine. I just had my brother to contend with.
Round 2.
Oh, I mean, he and I, we would scrap. It was a thing. So I feel like that's just the thing growing up with siblings, though. You just like scrap with your siblings. So.
Yeah, it's just like, have you ever been in a fight before?
Only with my siblings.
Yeah, and they're like, that doesn't count. I'm like, what do you mean?
You're like, are you kidding? Literally, my brother used to do like WWE Raw. He would try to do that when we were fighting.
It says in the beginning, you guys are the professionals.
Straight up.
There's no amateur. This is not amateur.
When we were little, my mom barred him from watching Power Rangers because he kept trying to karate chop me in the neck when I was little.
And because it's real karate most of the time.
It's real.
It's real karate.
But then he just swapped up to WWE, so like it was fine.
Bigger jumps.
Exactly. Making moves. All right. We're getting distracted. Where were we? Okay. So after the party, when the girls have been looking at the class photos, and remember, all of these first years are drenched in blood in all of these photos, and there are a few class members whose heads have been like crossed off in the photos, and Justine asks why, and the only thing that Alexia will say is that they refused initiation, which... What initiation into what?
I wish I understood the motivations in the family to be vets.
Yes, because this is an entire family of veterinarians, which I think is a really interesting choice as well, considering the content of this movie. But yeah, especially with Alexia being such like a rebel child and all this stuff, I feel like I wondered why she was so down to go to vet school and kind of like follow in the family footsteps, if you will, because she struck me as the kind of character who'd be like, fuck you, I'm going to go study English lit or something.
Definitely. It's kind of like the part in Step Brothers. Where it's like, he said he wanted to join the family business. But you're a doctor. You're a medical doctor.
Yeah, kind of.
So that was one thing that I was curious about, but yeah.
I just wondered. It was just one of those things where like it arguably doesn't really matter, but like you just kind of wonder, because maybe she just loves animals. She does have her dog.
She does have her dog,
which I also wonder, like, why is this one student allowed to have a dog? Because most dorms you can't have animals.
Yeah.
I remember somebody tried to sneak a bunch of pets into our dorm when I was in college. It was very ill-advised. There was a giant aquarium involved.
They always get caught.
Oh, gigantic aquarium that took up half of the room that he just left when he went home for Christmas break.
Okay, this is a sidebar, but there is somebody who has taken over the front lawn of their apartment complex, and they have put a boxing bag, like there's a bag for boxing, and they have put a full tank aquarium. It's all outside.
What?
It's all outside. You'll see it. You have to check it out.
This on my
they
way
did
home.
have fish in the tank, and then now there's fish in the tank.
What?
Yeah,
It's September. It's gonna get cold.
That's
soon.
what I'm saying. Like, what are they gonna fucking do?
What kind of fish is it? What's like? How have the local raccoons not just like had a feast?
I know, or like I'm surprised, like because it's Vancouver,
or like coyotes, like
right. Oh my God. Yeah, no, you have to see it on your way home.
That's crazy.
You do.
Okay, so our next sequence, we cut to the next day where Justine is observing a procedure being done on a horse where it is tranquilized and moved into surgery. And what really struck me was you do see the level of discomfort that Justine is experiencing watching this happen. And just like the way the animal is handled or treated, but she's also fascinated at the same time. You can see it's that sort of like morbid curiosity where she really wants to be here, but she's also like mildly horrified.
It definitely did make me think of The Exorcist when they do have all of those like medical practice scenes.
Yeah.
Because those scenes sometimes make you feel more uncomfortable than...
Absolutely.
Right?
That was the vibe, 100%. Because this horse is basically just being lifted into a mechanism to be taken in for some kind of procedure. And it very much reminded me of Reagan getting like certain procedures done and like watching her mom watch all of this happen and stuff. Like it very much gave that vibe. Hopefully no serial killers in the background of this scene though.
And proper use of ketamine.
Hey, double whammy.
Rare.
Right? Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, in that sequence in The Exorcist where Reagan is having various medical procedures done, there is an actual verified serial killer in the background who plays one of the medical technicians. He picked up a random acting gig and was later arrested for murdering several people. Look it up. It's a crazy story.
And it's a really fun fact.
It is. We love a fun fact.
We do love a fun fact.
We love a fun fact.
Definitely love the uncomfortability.
Yeah, just like sort of that really subtle tension where you're like, yeah, this is vet school. That's exactly what would happen. But then dealing with the realities of that situation and sort of it feels very real is the way that I would put it.
Definitely. And it just keeps pushing that, yes, just because you sign up for something, you don't have to commit to it.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for you. Just because everybody has told you this is what you should do, that doesn't actually mean anything.
Advice.
Right, life advice from 2 millennial white women, just what the internet needs. So we move on to the first year initiation and class photo, where all of the students gather in their lab coats and are completely drenched in blood, which we assume is probably real. I don't think it's meant to be fake blood in the scene. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be real blood that's covering them.
I hope it's fake. I didn't look it up because...
Oh, I just mean within the story. Like, I'm
yeah.
sure they used fake blood, of course, but
Yes.
just like I am assuming within the story, it's meant to be real blood.
Yes, within the story, I do feel like they wanted it to be real blood.
No. I'm not talking about them just like hitting up a
Yeah.
local butcher shop and going to town, but
I'm like, we can, Sissy Spacek, you queen. Thank you so much for doing what you did, but not everybody has to do that.
no.
Yes. That was nice because there was chunks in it.
Yep.
Which, like,
Clots.
Yeah.
Which I also feel like that really plays into the whole sort of like female theme of this movie.
Yes.
It's like so often in horror films, you will see tons of blood, but you never see a blood clot.
Yes.
And as anybody who menstruates will tell you, you will become familiar with such things. So seeing that is so unusual that it really does stick out, especially if you know what to look for, which I think is a really interesting choice because it is also subtle enough that, like, no offense, but men probably wouldn't notice that right away, whereas women or anybody else who menstruates would clock that immediately. So yeah, I noticed that as well.
Chunky.
Ooh. Ew, oh God, that's a lot.
It definitely,
It's reality.
it adds to it because I hate to say it, but yeah, when you don't have that small detail, it takes me out of it a bit. But
Yeah.
the not going to say the practical effects are bad because the practical effects are amazing.
They're so good.
There's so much blood.
They're so good.
So much beautiful blood.
The makeup and effects in this movie are top
Yes.
tier. Cannot say enough good things about it. So they are covered in blood, their photo is taken, and then as the final part of their initiation into the first year class, they are forced to eat rabbit kidneys.
Oh, we didn't even get to talk about the sick marching song that they have.
Oh my God, I forgot about the marching song. Yes, before their photo is taken, the second year students appear in a sort of marching band lineup singing a weirdly sexual chant about being a vet student and how they like to fuck and drink and smoke and a bunch of other stuff, which, like, cool, do you. But a little aggressive, a little, okay.
Europe is different.
Yeah, well, also just like vets are different. I don't know.
Like, do they have different animals? Like, what's the...
Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was definitely, I forgot about the translation for the march. I even rewound it back just to make sure that I was understanding what I was.
Mm-hmm. Basically, the gist is like, vets are super badass.
Yeah.
And you should fuck one.
Plus, if you have a profession, you should have a chant.
I mean, I'm into that. I'm okay with that. Because, like, or either like a chant or like an oath.
There's
you
no...
know, like, doctors have to take a Hippocratic oath, and that's, like, kind of badass. Like, right? So what would I don't know what the customer service oath would be. I promise not to punch a bitch even when she really deserves it. Can you tell I've worked in customer service for too long?
Do not want to go to jail. Not want to go to jail.
I don't look good in orange. I can't go to jail.
I can't thread my eyebrows. That's the thing. If I could thread my eyebrows, you know what?
Girl, there's no Netflix in prison. And, like, I'm sure the coffee is really bad.
They'll make you learn how to play all these card games.
Oh, God.
And they'll get mad at you because you don't know how to play.
I could start lifting weights, though. I keep telling myself I'm going to do that. So I could just be that person who thinks going to prison is nothing but getting jacked and doing nothing all day, which, like, I suspect is not.
It's not true, especially if you get money for commissary.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I could work in the prison library. I'd be so good at that. I like to read. Got it.
Books.
Oh, God.
So every profession should get a chant.
Yes. Love the tribute to Carrie with the blood drenched all over the students.
Like, I did too.
I feel like that was a really fun nod. Because one thing I like about this movie is I love any movie where, like, if you know, but it doesn't take away from the movie. That's always the thing for me. Because, like, if you don't get the reference, the imagery should still hit.
I agree.
Just for the story. So I really like that this had that quality where you're like, yeah, this is spooky and weird and I'm super into it. And also, I see you, Brian De Palma.
So many winks.
Love it. Love it. I love a wink in terms of a reference. That's my favorite.
A tasteful nod.
Exactly. But you don't want to alienate your audience members who haven't seen the other movie, because that gets to me occasionally where you're like, this is so referential that I don't know what the fuck is going on because I'm not part of your niche audience. Maybe rein it in a tiny bit. Just a touch. Just a little touch. So as the final part of their initiation into the first year class, the students are each forced to eat at least a section of a rabbit kidney. Raw. And what looks like potentially preserved. And I was like, I really hope that's not formaldehyde. Yikes. Yeah, I feel like this scene can best be described as, like, squishy. Like, it's not nice. Justine attempts to refuse on account of her vegetarianism until Alexia quite literally forces her to partake in this. First, she tries to socially pressure her by saying, you know, people are going to judge you. People are going to think you're weird. Just do it. It's not a big deal. Until she literally physically forces it down Justine's throat to get her to do it. And despite almost throwing up, Justine manages to keep it down.
Puke and rally.
I mean, girl, it happens to the best of us. Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Drinks are expensive.
Right, it's tough. And she said no to a shot afterwards. She could have taken a shot, and she said no, which honestly I would have done just to get that taste out of your mouth.
That interaction right there too just showed how much distrust you were going to have for the sister already.
Exactly.
You didn't stick up for your little sister like that.
Right? Why are you doing your little sister so dirty?
And it's like, no, she has to, because she has to be cool like me. I'm like,
right? She's going to ruin my reputation. And I'm like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you?
At veterinary school.
Right.
And if I'm not saying that word correctly, it's because I'm trying really hard. Everybody relax. Thank you.
It's okay, Jamie. We love you. It's fine.
Thank you.
So we then go to later that day where all of our first year students are still covered in blood. They are going about their days covered in blood. And it looks like it's potentially multiple days before they are allowed to clean themselves, which is just so very gnarly. And we are sitting in their cafeteria lunchroom, and we're introduced to some of Justine's classmates, including someone who decides to have a conversation about the potential birth of AIDS and a lot of the, like, rumors and things that surrounded that, which included people having sex with monkeys, which, by the way, that's been debunked. That wasn't a thing. That didn't happen. You can fact check me if you want. Go for it.
This particular person did not have any particular eyebrows, and that particularly made me
weird.
Yeah. Definitely, my note here is that he was casted properly, because the way that he had his little hair flipped out, though, did make me think that he looked like a little monkey.
And he also has that sort of, like, skeevy dude vibe.
He does.
You know, where, like,
does.
you meet somebody and they'll just start having a really weird, potentially inappropriate conversation with you. And you're like, why are we talking about this? Like, you're not right or wrong. I'm not debating that with you, but, like, why are you talking to me about this right now? Like, bro, you're being weird.
100%. 100%. And, like, it's just, like, trying to show, like, these are your classmates too.
Right? Like, what kind of impression are you trying to make on your classmates that this is your go-to? We're going to talk about, like, I'm going to apologize for triggering anybody, but we're going to talk about monkey rape and, like, act like that's totally normal. And also you're talking about, I did think it was really interesting that they had this conversation between him and Adrien, who is a gay man, talking, like, this guy is getting so aggressive about AIDS in general, to the point where Adrien actually breaks in the scene and is like, bro, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? And
I like the fact that that's how they decided to make that guy look like an asshole, because straight up, she needs more victims.
100%.
Like,
no notes. I agree.
I am speaking for the movie, because this is obvious. Like, you need to set some people up.
Right. But
yes,
he is being really insistent and really weird. And Justine actually decides to speak up for animal rights and say that assaulting an animal is, in her opinion, as bad as assaulting a human, which, pardon me, it's clear that a lot of her classmates don't agree with her. And this just sort of further serves to ostracize her from her classmates and set her apart. Because it seems that she's also the only vegetarian, which struck me as a little weird at a vet school. I feel like there'd be more vegetarians there, but you never know.
I did like that part a lot too, actually, just because it made me realize, like, oh, she like loves animals.
Yeah,
because
she really does.
You kind of question her motivation as well to be a vet, because it's like familiar. It's the family business.
Family pressure.
Family pressure. Yeah, for sure. So like I did kind of, I know it's such a weird comment, but in that moment you understood her passion and her goodness of character.
Yeah, the fact that she actually genuinely wants to be here of her own accord because she believes this. It's not just something that her parents have forced on her. And
you're 100% correct. The isolation just pushes even further, because it's like, how are you not fitting into a group of people? Like, what kind of school is this?
Right? And also, how do you only have one animal rights person at a vet school? Like, I get that there would be a spectrum at that point, but like there's only one of you.
Like, they're all Peter. They're not PETA.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
I mean, I feel like Creepy Guy's name could potentially be Peter. I don't know what it actually is, because I didn't like him as a character, so it's like, I don't care about your name. But if he was American, he would be Peter. Let's put it that way. In the American remake, his name is Peter.
100%.
And Adrien is clearly offended by this conversation. And it does feel very pointed that he's having it with what we know to be the only gay or queer member of his class. It does feel very homophobic and very pointed. And I think that is very much a part of the point, is that Adrien is also ostracized from the rest of the student body as well, because this movie also came out in 2016. So it was progressive then, but not quite as progressive as now. And this is also the first reference that we get to anorexia, or an eating disorder, which I think is kind of an interesting theme that plays through the whole movie. When they are discussing the idea of sort of assault on an animal versus a human, one of the points that Adrien makes is that an animal isn't going to starve itself and develop an eating disorder and depression and have to go into therapy and do all of this stuff after something happens to them. They'll just continue to exist, and it must be because they don't have the same level of consciousness, is sort of the implication of what he's saying. And I just noticed that because there's a few different times through the movie where they either directly address or will allude to the idea of an eating disorder or body image issues, and just sort of like presentation in the world, like physical presentation in the world. And I thought that was such a subtle, sort of interesting way to infuse that through the movie. Because obviously, you know, teenage girl going to college, you're going to be dealing with a lot of weird shit about your own body, which is also a huge theme in this movie. And there is that kind of weird pressure a lot of the time and stuff. So I just thought that was kind of fascinating, because the first time I watched this movie twice, and the first time I watched it, I kind of noticed that they kept mentioning anorexia, but it didn't really, like, I didn't really clock it. And then I watched it the second time and I was like, oh, damn, this is really throughout this entire movie, right at the beginning. And we're like off to the races. So,
especially with the issues of control that she's having,
exactly,
when she does kind of start developing her hunger, because most of the time it is a coping mechanism to deal with control that you've lost in your,
or you feel you've
life.
Lost, yeah.
Yeah. And then especially like even in the beginning when she gets the aggressive potatoes, she's only getting one scoop.
Yep.
And they're always like talking about her weight and like how she looks and whatnot. And it's definitely another theme and metaphor that I like that they play around for this. This movie just really made me want to watch The Substance.
Fair. The Substance was great. Love The Substance. 10 out of 10.
Right? 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
But we needed this movie to happen first.
Absolutely. And the thing that I noticed that also tied into the body stuff with our lead actress is her posture through the whole movie. She starts out and she's clearly like She's sort of hunched. She's making herself very small. She's like folding herself in. She's trying not to take up space. And by the end of the movie, she is fully present. She is standing fully straight in her own sort of like power, and she's ready, which I think is so fascinating, especially considering how this movie ends. All right, so we then cut to Justine and Adrien in class, and they are clearly doing some kind of assignment or quiz that Justine is kind of just blowing through, and Adrien is struggling a little bit. So when Justine takes her paper over to her prof, who kind of looks like a budget Albert Einstein, like Dollar Tree version, he starts to grade it in front of her and tries to take her down a peg or two, basically, by saying, "Oh, you made a mistake. It's right here." And when she asks to look, "No, it's too late. You've already handed it in." Which, like, the only reason anybody does that is because they think they want to take you down a peg or two. Otherwise, they would just leave it and mark it later like a normal human being.
So triggered. We've all had a teacher that treated us like this.
Petty, sir.
Rude.
Tom Petty. We cut to later that night. Justine is in her dorm room, and she wakes in the night to an itchy, full-body allergic reaction. I do just want to take a second to say their makeup department killed it. This is so good. It looks so real. It looks so legit. And in my former film student status, I went to school for makeup design and like prosthetics and all of that fun stuff. And wow. That looks so good. I actually made a note. Their makeup designer was Olivier Alfonso, I believe is his last name. And wow, crushed it, killed it, amazing. It literally looks like she's just breaking out in this horrible rash all over her body. And she's very clearly horrified, but can't stop scratching. And also the Foley in this scene. Oh.
If you weren't itchy, I was.
Yeah, if you weren't itchy before, you are now. Like, I think, yeah.
I don't know if anybody's allergic to anything, but if you've had a full-blown hive episode, it definitely brought you back to that time. But I love that it was like, she was itching, and it was like, girl, you gotta stop.
You gotta stop scratching, girl.
But rub it just a little bit.
Or like smack it, like a tattoo. Just a little smack.
But that was kind of the starting point.
Yeah. And that's one of my favorite kinds of body horror is the relatable body horror where like you maybe haven't had an allergic reaction before, but you know someone who has, or, you know, it's like things to do with like teeth and fingers and stuff like that. It's just too real. It's too relatable.
We'll get to it.
Oh,
but that fucking hair scene.
Oh, I can't wait for you to see the note that I wrote for that. But we'll get to it. The note that I have for this sequence where she's scratching is just sound design / Foley. Big yikes. Like, oh, it's rough. So we then have a dream sequence of Justine's where she's dreaming about the horse that was having this procedure done, and it just runs in place on a treadmill. And I do feel like this is very much a mirror of Justine feeling stuck and like trying to find her way at school and socially and all of this stuff where, you know, you keep running because you're on a treadmill, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Stress dreams, we've all had them.
Every night.
All the time. All right. So the next day, Justine goes to a clinic or hospital to get this rash checked out. And while the nurse is checking her out, she, you know, takes some samples of Justine's rash, which, again, makeup department, killing it, because that was gross. And anybody who's ever peeled a sunburn, you're like, ugh.
Oh, also made me think of The Craft.
Yes.
Yep.
Very fair. Yep, that's fair.
So many homages, so many nods.
Love it. And then the nurse tells her a story about an overweight woman coming to get blood work done and how all of these other technicians had turned her away, told her she had to lose weight, and they couldn't find the veins in her arm. And it was bullshit. This woman did her test and it was fine. And she just treated this woman like any other patient, which, by the way, is what should happen. Just gonna leave that there.
But just, you know, it would be cool if you make sure you go to the clinic where they don't get to smoke in it after.
Yeah, that got me. She lights up a cigarette as she's telling the story in the clinic, in the exam room.
Europe is different.
Amen. France is different. But it was so interesting to hear this woman sort of talking about the idea that this woman was made to feel so othered just because she physically took up more space than people thought she should. And her advice to Justine to make it through her first year is basically to like make yourself quiet and small and get through it, which is so depressing. Like for the hazing aspect, I get that. That's like kind of real, but that's so sad.
Well, and like it's vet school.
Exactly.
Like, this is I thought like, you're usually going to help some cats and some dogs.
Right.
Maybe a farm animal or two.
Exactly. That or you're doing like science classes, like biology and chemistry and like all that stuff. Like,
for real.
Right. But again, she talks about like the idea of sort of physical presentation in the world. So I did very much feel like this was tied to the themes of like anorexia and then later the scenes with like the hair removal and stuff that we'll talk about. Like, it was just so fascinating to me, all of the sort of different angles and different facets that they kept addressing this issue through.
Yes.
Because it helped not make it feel tired.
Yes.
In the movie. Because when you have the same, like, different characters just having the same conversation over and over and over again, you're like, okay, I've seen this 4 times. You've sold the message. Don't beat me over the head with it.
Please.
So I loved that she managed to find, like, a fresh way to talk about that in each scene where it's mentioned, which I think is really cool. And very much a credit to Julia Ducornau. All right. So in this scene, we also confirm that Justine is a virgin, which is, again, just reinforcing that sense of social isolation and self-discovery. The idea that, it's not only that she's feeling isolated, is that she is potentially going to be having some new experiences for the first time in her life because she is away from her parents and, all these other things. So she finally has that opportunity. And the nurse gives her a prescription cream for her rash and sends her on her way. And remember that's going to be important later. And my note here was nurse smoking in exam room, the most French scene ever.
It was my favorite.
Also, if we have any French listeners, we do love you. I went to Paris a couple of years ago. Y'all are great. So don't worry. We tease because we love.
We literally had croissants.
We did.
Before this. So.
That's true.
And
a croissant.
We have chocolate ones for after.
Right? So we love y'all.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for your pastries. Thank you for you.
Thank you for you.
Yeah, part of Canada, they're all about it. They're
exactly.
All about being French.
We don't live in that part, but it's okay. We like that part. It's
we
fine.
do. Yeah.
Okay. So basically over the next day or so, the hazing continues. Justine is told that she's not allowed to make eye contact with older students. She's forced to wear a diaper to class when she is, quote, dressed incorrectly because they have themes that the students are meant to dress on. And this is club night. And she's just wearing jeans and a sweater. So she is forced to wear a diaper to class and decides to borrow some clothes from her sister. So we cut to Alexia's dorm room, who is ripping through her closet. And in my opinion, in the most relatable way ever, she's going, no, that won't work. That won't fit. There's no way you're having that one. No, maybe. Okay, this one, which that's how sisters do that.
Was this before or after? One of my notes here is definition of busy. And that was when she had her full arm in the cow. Yes. Is that how she got her attention? Because I felt like that was such a little sister thing to do.
No, I think that was later.
Okay.
I think that was a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, just fully up to the shoulder in a cow. It's quite a moment.
100%. That's always the appropriate time to ask somebody for something.
Or actually, no, I think it is that moment.
Okay.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, because I was just thinking about it. So yeah, basically, Justine interrupts her sister in class when her sister is quite literally up to the shoulder in a cow's asshole.
Yum.
As Jamie said, the definition of busy, but also the most little sister energy where you're like, no, I need to talk to you right now. This is important. Pay attention to me. I know you're in class, but I need this.
Brat forever.
Amen. Jenny, if you're listening, you can make fun of me later. Jenny is my sister, FYI. Yeah, just the definition of little sister energy. But I do love that Alexia's reaction is to just finish what she's doing and then immediately go talk to Justine, because that's the most older sister energy ever. Okay, I'm just going to deal with this because it's my baby sister and then I'll go back to what I'm doing.
And like you said, she is ripping through her closet in like the most sister way possible too, because there's no filter, there's just pure honesty.
Yep, just like, that won't fit. Nope, there's absolutely no way I'm lending you that. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, this will work.
And then, she ends up in like an outfit. It's a fit. It's a dress.
It's what I would describe as like a mall dress. You know, it's
could
nice.
serve tables.
Yeah, it's nice. You look nice. It's not really anything to write home about, but like, you look fine. You would go to the mall, pick it up, maybe for like, say, a job or like a wedding that you're just like a very low key guest at.
And
like,
it's that mid 2010s fashion. So it's like if you do have anything left over from the business era.
Yeah, it's the like end of the business casual club era. So, you know, high neck and all this stuff, but it's still a mini skirt. It's still short.
Yeah, she's showing some leg.
She is. And it has the little 2000s belt because everything had to have a belt.
Might fall down.
Exactly. But yeah, gets her a little outfit and some shoes and stuff. And while she's rooting through her closet, Justine is actually correcting Alexia's homework, which is the most annoying shit ever. I fully understand why Alexia's like, get out of my room, we're done. Like, you're done, go home. I get it. That is so fair. And just like, it kind of, to me, this also shows that even with her sister, Justine does not understand and is not adapting to her new social dynamics. In that way, she's just like, no, this is what I'm doing because this is in front of me. And like, I am interested in this. So I'm just going to go through it. And I'm like, quote unquote, helping you. And I don't realize that I'm kind of being an asshole and doing exactly what my professor did to me. Like, hello.
Repeating the cycle of violence.
Hey, pot, it's Kettle. You're black. Yeah. So Alexia, in my opinion, quite rightly, kicks Justine out of her room and is just like, again, embodiment of big and little sister dynamics. Just like, nope, we're done. You pissed me off. Get out of my room. I'll see you later. Like, don't think so. So on her way home, Justine attempts to rescue her mattress from where it was thrown out of her window. And her, you know, blankets, and she's in these heels that her sister has forced her to try on, which, like, girl, just take those off.
Also, bad surprise.
Bad surprise. She gets up to her dorm room. She abandons her mattress partway up, gets up to her dorm room to ask Adrien to help her, and interrupts him receiving a blowjob right in the doorway, which I thought was a bold choice. Like, your room is your room, but like right in the doorway? Okay. And he promptly just shuts the door in her face, like, no, I'm having a blowjob. Bye. Like, but okay, did you notice in that scene that the person who is supposed to be giving him a blowjob, his mouth is basically equal with this man's belly button? It's way too high. It's so funny. I literally was like, why does that look weird? And I was like, okay, sure.
They didn't discuss dick line.
Yeah, your eye line's off, man. This is dick line. It's very similar.
It's just as important.
It is. If you're going for realism,
yes.
You got to go for realism.
For real.
My favorite example of that actually is in the second Underworld movie. Fairly close to the beginning, there's a sex scene with Kate Beckinsale and Scott Speedman. But if you watch it, if like from where his butt is versus where her hips are, he would literally be fucking her like belly button / the bottom of her rib cage. Like, it's such a disparity. It's so genuinely funny. Every time I see it, I cackle. It just makes me laugh because it's so insane. And I'm like, I get that you're trying to keep your rating down, but you're showing his butt. She's basically naked. Like, just put them so it looks like they're actually fucking.
That's how you know that the spouse was on set.
Amen. Or maybe your co-star was creepy, but I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, so I don't know about that.
Yes.
Not in this case. I'm going to go ahead and say not in this case. From what I understand, Scott Speedman is a very nice man. So we're not going to go there. But that's the only time.
Nice name.
Well, just like that's the only time I could kind of see it. If you were like, I don't really want this guy to touch me because he's really gross, but I have to because this is my job. Like,
I'm glad you noticed the dick line because I was trying to notice if it was the classic and cliche. I left a sock on the door. There's something on there was nothing. You didn't even...
No signal. You didn't even lock the door. You have keys.
Callback. It's a callback.
Right. So she witnesses this blowjob being given to her roommate, who immediately just like slams the door in her face, which like, duh. And she sticks around basically outside the door and listens to them finish, which I think it's just showing that she's curious because they kind of hint at the idea that she's lived a pretty sheltered existence. Like, I don't think she's ever had a boyfriend. She's never really explored sexually. Like, maybe she's kissed somebody, but that's probably about it. So I think it's sort of tapping into the idea that like that part of her is becoming more aware, and she kind of wants to know how that happens. She isn't sure if she's ready for it yet, but she wants to know how that happens.
She is definitely testing the boundaries.
She's dipping a toe in. She's testing the waters.
It's like, I love being a part of this unintentional three-way.
Right? Yeah. Like, no consent, but I'm going to listen, which, like, weird, but, you know, if somebody's going to listen, there's not really a lot you can do about it. Can you tell I live in an apartment? Okay, so the next day, Justine and Adrien are in line in the cafeteria filling up their plates, and we see Justine grabbing her favorite mashed potatoes, which appears to be all she lives off of. And she decides to try and steal a hamburger.
In the most weirdest way possible, by the way.
She just puts a fucking straight up hamburger in her pocket.
First off, doesn't even grab the one off the top. She just shoves her hand in the hot serving tray.
Yep, gets one from the bottom, nice and greasy.
And like Napoleon dynamites it and puts that thing right in her friggin' pocket.
Yep, and it's like leaking grease everywhere, and she gets caught.
She does get caught.
Which is also so awkward. Like, that's so weird.
The service workers were probably the most real.
Oh, absolutely. That girl who was running that counter, that cashier, she was so real. Just like, no, I'm going to embarrass you. You got to show me what it is, and then I'm going to charge you for it.
And then, like, the embarrassment level that she acts is quite funny because it's like somebody saying your shirt's inside out. Like, oh, just don't tell anybody about my shirt being inside out.
Right. Because Adrian asks her, he's like, why did you steal a burger? Like, I would have bought one for you. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you stealing a hamburger? And also, literally just the patty. Not even the rest of the burger. Just the patty. And basically, she just is embarrassed at the idea of eating meat. So they decide to go off campus the next day to get some shawarma where she can eat meat only in front of Adrian, where she feels comfortable. They're on this bus and they pass an accident, and we realize it's on the same road as the opening of the movie. And it's a very similar scenario. Someone has crashed into a tree, and we can see at least one body on a gurney. And Justine is transfixed. She is fascinated. She gets out of her seat. She's staring at this accident. And initially my first thought was actually like, oh, is that maybe like her parents or like someone she knows? Is that why she's looking? And then like, they don't actually really explain why she's so fascinated, but I'm into that because you put it together later. So they move on to this little like shawarma place service station, and they're eating their snacks, talking about the truckers that they can see. And they're being kind of shitty. They're talking about how they're alcoholics and all kinds of stuff. And this was the one scene that I did really wonder about, because one of the truckers comes over and has very clearly overheard them and is very clearly pissed and is doing his best to freak them out. But he is so physical with Adrien. He literally just walks up, like slaps his hand on this guy's neck and starts like massaging his ear.
Yeah, that's where my note is. That's too long to rub an ear.
Yeah,
it is too long.
Uncomfortably long. And he's talking about how, you know, truckers, he's fucking with them, but he's talking about how truckers keep pigs in their trucks so they can swap out their blood if they're too drunk or too high or whatever. And like, it's very clear that this man is just trying to intimidate these kids. And he is totally unnerved by Justine because she is the definition of unbothered. She is just chowing down on that shawarma.
The fact that he was so unnerved, like you said.
Yeah, just watching Justine, who could not care less. She is so focused on her meal, which, by the way, is also one of the continuity errors I noticed in this movie. She starts out with a sandwich, and then it cuts back to her, and she has a meat skewer. So my canon theory is that she finished the sandwich and started the skewer in that little time, which is why that guy was so freaked out.
And then it was nice to like start watching her, like that was kind of like her progression too.
Yeah, that was the moment for her where she was like, yeah, okay, we're eating meat now. Yeah. And this is like a new sort of level up in terms of confidence. Like, I could do this in front of other people.
Especially after you've had a couple drinks. You're telling me like you don't want 12 cheeseburgers or a hot dog. Sorry if you're vegetarian. I do apologize.
You're telling me you don't want a falafel wrap? Because that's what you get at a shawarma place if you're vegetarian? Falafel's fucking delicious. I get it. Like, yeah.
Sauce.
Delish. Little garlic sauce.
A little garlic sauce.
Something spicy maybe.
But made me so happy. It just made me so happy that she freaked him out that much.
Yep. To the point where this guy just walks away, and Adrian sort of looks over at her and he's clearly a little unnerved, but also kind of impressed in a way where he's like, damn, you really just out-weirded that dude. Like, okay, but also you're real weird, which I think is an appropriate and human reaction.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I thought that was such an interesting idea of sort of her dealing with her shame in a way. Like, you can see that sort of self-acceptance in this moment where she's like, I don't need to be ashamed of doing this, and I'm not gonna, because this is delicious, and I live how I want to live. Which, like, when it comes to shawarma, absolutely, my queen. But with cannibalism, I don't know. But the shawarma, absolutely.
Desires are different. Desires are definitely different.
Exactly. Different strokes for different folks, guys. And next we cut to the absolutely iconic raw chicken scene. So it is later that night. Adrien has clearly heard Justine get out of bed, so he comes to investigate in their kitchen, and Justine is hiding what she's doing and being, like, very cagey.
Which, like, to be fair, yeah. Like, if I was eating that raw chicken...
Oh, I would too, but, like, as Adrien, you should maybe be worried. So he goes back to bed, and we cut to Justine, who takes a big old bite out of a raw chicken breast and is clearly having the time of her life. Like,
and it's owe it all to you.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who hates raw chicken. Like, I don't like touching it. I don't like dealing with it. I'm always a little bit scared that I'm going to poison myself. So I have to be very careful when I cook it. Yeah, big yikes. But again, makeup department crushed it, because that chicken breast that she bites into has that same, like, texture and resistance that it would have. Yeah, where you would, like, bite into and, like, rip into it. So it felt very real, which I appreciated.
I also like the fact that it was easing us in too, like, because even the rabbit kidney is kind of an ease in.
Exactly.
But it's definitely telling us, like, oh, okay,
this is a step up from a shawarma when you're eating raw chicken breast out of your kitchen, like, container.
Couldn't even wait.
Like, probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, couldn't even wait. Yeah.
The people that wash their chicken are like,
oh, God. Oh, I can't.
Awful. Yeah.
It's what I really noticed about the scene, because it is kind of like a short, not throwaway, but it's like a very short sequence, is it does linger on her and that chicken for just a little too long. So the next day, we cut to Justine having a meeting with her prof, aka Budget Einstein, and he is accusing her and Adrien of cheating. And he openly says to her that because she's a star student, he thinks that she should get taken down a couple of pegs, and he would rather do that to her. So if she doesn't confess, he's just going to blame her. So
vet school, everybody. It's fucking vet school.
Right? High pressure.
Yeah.
High pressure.
Yeah.
So Justine tells the truth, which is that it was Adrien. She did not cheat. And through this whole sequence, she is incredibly nervous. She's incredibly uncomfortable, and she is chewing on a piece of her hair frantically. And it's clearly a nervous tic. Clearly, she does not do well with the sort of pressures and potential failures of academia. That's something that clearly is getting to her. And so she runs out of the meeting into the bathroom and then proceeds to spend several minutes over a toilet hacking up a gigantic human-sized hairball.
Grossness of it.
Oh.
It's so gross.
It's so gross. And, like, I have 2 cats. I love them. They get hairballs. They're not that gross.
The scene, just like the chicken scene, how you said it lingered, this one lingered.
This one lingers. You're not getting away from this one.
No.
And they clearly also did it practically, which I do appreciate, because, like, any girl with long hair can relate. If you do get a single hair that gets, like, caught down your throat or something and you pull it out, that is one of the most disgusting sensations of your life. So this just felt so visceral and so real, and I hated it.
It was gross. It was just gross.
It was really gross.
I think it's kind of funny because there is a lot of gross stuff throughout the film, but I don't know why that one, I think that, like you just said, as we sit here with our
long hair on both of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Just not a good time, because the texture of hair, that's the thing.
Yep. That's what it makes you think of, is the texture and what that would feel like, and, like, ooh.
Pulling out too long. Definitely.
Horrible.
And it's like, yeah, it just keeps getting progressively worse.
Yep. And just when you think it's going to end, nope, we're still going. We're still going. We're going to make you sit in this for a while.
Speaking of clumps.
Yes.
That professor over here. Fucking Professor Clumps. This is what she was pulling out.
Right? Like, oh, girl, that looked like somebody's terrifying drain. Like, you need to get a snake in there? Like, Jesus.
Aww.
Poor girl. You feel for her. That's rough.
But like, she gets it done. She's like, oh, thank you so much.
Yes, and you can see she's clearly like, oh, thank God.
The relief.
The relief. And she walks out of the bathroom stall. And this is the scene that we were referencing earlier before we started going through the movie, where a classmate of hers, whose mood could best be described as jovial, walks over to her and gives her the advice to put her fingers down her throat because that will speed up this process, basically. And Justine, in my opinion, has a pretty normal reaction where she kind of looks at this girl and is like, what the fuck? And then leaves. And this girl, again, we linger with this girl in the mirror, and she's just petting her hair and smiling like she just did a good thing. And she's so happy. And I'm like, honey, are you okay?
Also, it was another way that they were showing, because some of the symptoms with eating disorders, obviously you lose your hair, and we'll get to the scene, but when she loses her tooth.
Yep.
So it was really good that they were able to subtly kind of put in these things, because then it does add to the body horror, but it's also just like a good subtle way to show the symptoms, which was another fun thing to
And
look
those
into.
are actually also potentially symptoms of withdrawal as well.
Yes.
Which I also think is interesting because you can kind of interpret that however you want to. Is this an addiction? Is this something akin to an eating disorder? Like, I do love that they kept it a little more open. I think that's really fascinating. But yeah, we just stick with this girl. Literally, she's just like stroking her hair, kind of like humming to herself. She's so happy. And I'm like, babe, who hurt you?
Well, and what kind of school is this? Does anybody pass a background test?
Right?
Is everybody is this the non-medicated vet school? What are we doing here?
Right? Is there any administration? Does anybody actually to keep track of these students? I don't know.
How many lab coats do you get? How many lab coats do you get? Because they get crustier as it goes on.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 2. One's covered in blood, and the other one's real crusty. Was kind of the vibe I got.
Sidebar, how do you feel about them expressing themselves through their vests? Because obviously, like the sisters class had their vests, their fucking lab coats. They've kind of like punk rocked them a little bit.
Yeah, they've like personalized their vests, and she's one of the only people who doesn't really do it, which I think is interesting.
Yes.
Because she is so kind of like unsure in her own identity that she won't even do that, which I think is such an interesting visual trick.
And like, God damn it, everybody must smell.
Oh, they would smell awful.
Like,
they would smell so fucking bad.
Doesn't matter.
Like, so bad. Even if they, we were talking about whether or not it was real or fake blood in the story. Even if it was fake blood, that's corn syrup. You're going to be covered in bugs. You're going to smell so bad. Like,
sweet.
Yikes. Big yikes. Yikes on bikes. Big yikes. So we cut to later on that day, and it is Alexia and Justine hanging out together on a rooftop at the school. They're drinking beers, they're laughing, they're just talking. It's actually a really nice sequence of them just kind of like being sisters outside of some of the social dynamics at school. One thing I also love is that this movie, even in sort of like subtle non-horror related ways, is not afraid to let women be human, and more specifically, a little bit gross.
Yes.
Because we're humans, and we're a little gross. So like the sequence where Alexia is trying to teach Justine how to pee standing up with no hands. That was so funny.
That shit was hilarious.
That was hilarious. And that is absolutely something a pair of drunk sisters would do together, like without a doubt.
And of course, she's gonna fucking pee all
over herself. And like, you're both gonna collapse in giggles covered in pee. Like, it's how it's gonna be.
It just adds to the sense.
Exactly. But like, I loved that. I thought that was so funny. And like,
it was.
And great. Like, it kind of gave you a break in the tension for like a moment there. Because up next, this one of the scenes we've been hinting at for this entire episode. Justine sleeps over in Alexia's dorm room, and while they're getting ready for bed, Alexia proceeds to basically start to dissect Justine's appearance in the way that most women do, where she plucks a couple hairs out of her eyebrows, and she's horrified when she sees that she has hairy armpits, and she like suggests a bikini wax and all this stuff. And it's sort of the first time Justine really has that expectation of like the performance of womanhood basically, to sound very douchey for just a moment. Where it's that expectation where like, no, just to exist as a woman, this is how you're supposed to be.
I chemically burnt myself with hair removal cream in 6th grade because I thought it could go under your eyebrows.
Oh no.
And then I like got rid of it. It was just like kind of like flaky like skin.
Oh, that would hurt,
ever
though.
since then, I've been 100% scared of self-waxing
Yep.
or putting hair removal cream in your most sensitive skin areas.
Right?
So her just being like, I'm going to wax you
Oh,
off the bat.
absolutely not. Like my sister, as much as I love her, if she announced that, I'd be like, oh, so you're paying for me to get a bikini wax? Is that what's happening here? Because that's the only way that's happening. Like, I am also of the mind, you don't do that at home.
Because we're so internet exposed as well, I know for a fact she's double dipping that wood stick into the
Oh
wax.
God, so gross.
I don't want that.
So gross. Well,
So
okay.
I thought it was going to get ripped off the whole time.
Straight up. So in this scene, Alexia decides to give Justine a bikini wax. Justine is very unsure about this. I would argue that she's not really consenting to this. She's just kind of allowing her sister to do it in that weird way. And the wax gets stuck, basically, which can happen. That is real.
And as Cardi B once said, if it's up, then it's stuck.
And girl, oh my God. Oh my God, her sister's pulling on it. And literally the note that I wrote here is, fuck me, I thought girl was going to lose a lip. Like straight
For real.
Because I have heard horror stories. I used to be really good friends with an esthetician, and she told me so many stories about like scarring that she had seen from previous things and stuff like that. Like, oh my God, put me off bikini waxing for life. There are other ways to remove your hair, guys. Like, it's, yeah.
Or don't.
I mean, yeah, also valid. Totally
Condition
up to you.
it. You're good.
Right. It's like I saw that, I don't remember her name, but there's a TikToker who was saying that the other day where she was like, it's always I shaved my whole body for this. Never I deep conditioned my bush for this.
100%.
It's like, you know what? Yeah.
Also, that makes me sound like I have a huge bush.
You know what? We're not here to judge, Jimmy. We can just both say that it doesn't matter.
I'm just trying to support.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to support all the peoples on there.
We're supportive.
Yeah.
Whatever you choose.
your
It's up to
grooming
you.
needs, 100%.
Regardless of your equipment, gender, or anything else in that conversation, it is up to you.
Yeah.
And we will live in mystery. You will never know what's happening.
But the sister is not supportive.
No, she is not about that life. She is about being quote unquote neat, as some people would put it. Not myself, but that's how some people would put it. So this wax is stuck to Justine, and her sister's pulling at it and realizes that it's stuck. And as an audience member, you are fully waiting for some kind of horrible, ripping moment, and I will leave it at that. But instead, Alexia announces that she has to basically just cut Justine's hair with a pair of scissors to try and get this off of her. And she produces the most gigantic, terrifying pair of scissors that I have ever seen. Like, girl, what did you buy these scissors for? That is some heavy-duty stuff.
It's like right next to the Spirit Halloween. There's it's the fantasy store. So it's just like, oh, did you ever read a fairy tale? Here, we have fairy tale scissors for you. That's exactly what happened.
They're like the size of her forearm. Like, they're huge and so sharp. And honestly, I so identified with Justine in this scene because her sister tells her what she's going to do and starts to approach her with the scissors. And Justine is like, absolutely not, and kicks her away, which is 100% what I would have done. Like, absolutely. I would have kicked my sister in the face. Sorry, Jenny, I love you. Like, I would have kicked her in the face, and I would not have hesitated.
Well, 100%. 100%. Like, for real, you're coming at me with a pair of scissors with my most sensitive bits. I would like to remain 100% intact.
Yeah, I will go get in a very hot bath and get, like, I don't know, some kind of like coconut oil or something and try to get the wax off myself. I will figure it out, but this is not the way.
Oh, just such a roundabout, like, oh my gosh. The fact that they get you with the hair, because you think that that's what's going to be.
Yep, and then it's these scissors. Justine kicks her sister away, and after a moment, Alexia sits up, and you realize that these gigantic, comically large scissors have chopped off one of her ring fingers. Both of the girls are horrified, and Alexia immediately passes out.
I wrote down worst sister ever.
Yeah.
But which one?
Yeah, right? They're kind of equal at this point in my mind, because at least with Justine, that was a genuine accident.
Yes.
She didn't mean to do that. She didn't mean to hurt her sister, whereas Alexia decided that she was going to do this to Justine. So
100. Yes.
different dynamic. So Justine freaks out, calls an ambulance. They say they're going to be like 15 minutes. Alexia's out cold on the floor with like blood pooling around her finger. So Justine tries to find some ice for the finger so that they can reattach it at the hospital.
Not very well.
No. I do want to take a second for the waxing scene though and say just like 10 out of 10 for actually showing pubes in a non-sexual manner, because we never see that. Like, you'll have horror movies or movies of other description where dudes are fully swinging dong. Like, 28 years later comes to mind. Just, like, fully swinging. And if you see a woman's pubes, then it's like, oop, nope, that's porn. And you're like...
We're passing the Bechdel test here.
Right! We love to see it. So...
I agree with you. I agree. Especially, I think there's some movies where... Is it 50 Shades of Grey where they had to CGI on pubic hair?
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. You don't have to.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I do love Dakota Johnson, though.
That is one of my favorite fun facts. I don't know why.
You know what? I'm here for it.
Somebody got paid.
So basically you see as Justine is looking around the room trying to find ice or something to put this finger on so that they can reattach to the hospital, there's nothing. The fridge and the freezer are empty. That's it. And the finger starts to bleed a lot because, oddly enough, your fingers have a lot of blood in them when they're attached. So this finger starts to bleed quite profusely. Justine is trying to, catch the blood in her hands, clean it up, and then you see there is a moment. And it's probably when she can smell it or something like that. And she decides to lick some of the blood. And girl just goes to town on that finger like it's a motherfucking chicken wing. Like, she's there nibbling meat off the bone.
I wrote corn on the finger.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That definitely, the way that she was eating it, personally, would you have eaten the finger the same way? I feel like I would have gone about it a little bit differently.
The section at the beginning where she kind of like sucks the blood out of it, I thought was actually really funny in like a warped way. Cause like, oh, well, don't want it to get messy. It's like melting ice cream. Better just like go for it. Which, like,
the best bits are at the bottom.
Exactly. So that did make me laugh, but I don't know. How would I eat a finger? That's a good question.
It's not, because it's quite a question.
That is a question. Yeah. How would I do that?
It didn't come into my mind until we watched this film.
Yeah,
let's just
I can't say
that.
I've ever asked myself that. I don't know, because my first instinct is to start with like the fingertip because it'd be fleshier, but then it's bleeding out the other end, so you might as well just start there. Work's already done. You can just kind of like rip into it the way she does.
Rip and dip.
Although I would definitely not do the like little nibbly thing that she does where it looks like she's eating like corn or chicken wing. Like, girl, if you're gonna eat the finger, eat the finger.
Agreed.
Just go for it.
Thank you.
Go for it. And she does. By the end of it, she's sucking the meat off that bone just in time for her sister to wake up and see what she's doing.
My other note here was a meat lover's pizza would have solved the whole thing.
Right? And girl, like, you're French. You all eat all kinds of crazy meats that we don't eat in North America. Like, go get yourself something good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, my thing with this sequence when Alexia wakes up is like, you can see she's very shocked by what's happening, but she's way too calm.
Both of them are.
They're so calm. Like, Justine kind of makes a little more sense because she's like, well, I'm caught. Like, I don't really know what to do. But Alexia is clearly shocked, but like, I would be screaming my fucking head off if I saw somebody eating my finger. Like, I'd be losing my mind. And she's very calm.
That's why there's this whole second story of like the sister and her discovery.
Exactly. So
this was so sorry.
No.
This was also a moment where I started to question if the parents knew about it.
Okay.
Because like I could have probably put it together more in the beginning, but then I just wasn't sure if the parents knew that their daughters were like this.
Yeah.
Because that was a huge
question. Like,
yes.
Do the parents know? Yeah.
Because she knew. Like there was this weird, especially getting into it once I think you'll tell us. Yeah.
Yeah, the next sequence. Yeah. So basically we cut to the hospital. And this was one thing I did wonder about. The creepy old man at the hospital with his dentures. Where he's like popping out his dentures and making faces at Justine. And she's like clearly kind of grossed out. And he just like thinks it's the funniest thing ever. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like there's a metaphor here that I'm missing, but I don't know what it is.
Me neither. It's just like...
Just like creepy old people with no teeth. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Classic.
Love it. So Alexia is rolled out of the hospital. Her parents are clearly very, very upset, which, again, understandable. And Justine runs out of the hospital, tries to make herself throw up the finger, is unsuccessful.
Wasteful.
Right, girl. It's been a few hours. Like you're not reattaching it at this point. Mm-hmm. Just let it happen. And has a conversation with her father outside over a cigarette, where he talks about the difficulties of raising 2 daughters and how he like wouldn't recommend it and like she shouldn't have kids. Basically, is kind of like the tone of the conversation, which to me was the first indicator that something bigger is happening here. Because he clearly loves Justine. Like, he expresses that to her, and, like, there's clearly some, affection there. But there's also something very weird happening there. So that, for me, was when I started to question. I was like, do they know? Do they suspect? Like, is that thing, is there maybe some kind of weird thing happening at the university that they were involved in that Alexia is also involved in? Like, it just sort of set up that connection a little bit more where I was like, okay, Dad, I see you.
They didn't seem as panicked. Everybody was too calm.
Yeah, everybody was very calm. The mom was clearly pissed, but she wasn't panicked, which was interesting. Because, like, why are you that mad at your daughter for getting injured?
100, yes.
Like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, I could understand her being mad at Justine, potentially, but again, it's an accident.
Yes.
And why are you mad at your daughter for being injured?
That's where it can also play into, like, the eating disorder metaphor of, like, having to bring somebody back, or even the addiction metaphor where it's, like, having to bring somebody into treatment because, like, another episode happened. And surprisingly, like, I think they think that the oldest daughter is having another relapse situation or having another problem because, like I said, there's that whole other story that we don't really get with her. And but it was really telling. And then the dad, I quit smoking a couple years ago, but seeing this man smoke.
Oh my God, I wanted a cigarette so bad. I quit smoking more than 10 years ago, and I wanted a cigarette so fucking bad.
He was so stressed. I was stressed. Everybody was stressed.
It was a tense situation. We were all stressed.
Smoking in hospitals.
Right? All over the place. France, you out here wildin'. I've said it so many times.
But seriously, quit if you haven't quit.
Yeah.
But also a very sweet moment too, in kind of a weird way. But also, like, with his information, he's just so scared and scorned from...
Right? And, like, what got me was the moment where he's talking about her dog, because they blame the lost finger on the dog. They say the dog ate it. And he says that the dog is going to be put down because it has tasted human flesh, not because it did anything wrong. And his comment is, like, it could develop a taste for it. And that is the most foreshadowy part of this. And it's so interesting to see Justine just, like, not picking up on it at all. Like, as the audience, you definitely do. But Justine, she's just kind of like, oh, okay.
And you're going to let that nice dog die because you're the one that decided to eat a finger.
Exactly, girl. That poor, innocent, sweet puppy is going to get put down because of you. The next scene, the parents have left, which I also think is interesting because Alexia clearly has not been released from the hospital yet, but they've left because she's being wheeled through the parking lot by Justine and their parents are nowhere to be seen. So again, like, your daughter is injured and you're just like, okay, bye. Like, what? I mean, maybe I just have helicopter parents, but, like, I don't think that would be how that goes.
No, I felt that was so cold as well.
That was cold. But we see the 2 girls leaving and Alexia basically announces that they need to talk, and she takes Justine to this little side of the road, and we realize it's the road from the opening sequence and the one where Justine witnessed an accident. And the 2 girls are sitting in a ditch, and they're not really talking about anything. They're just sort of sisterly bickering in the way that sisters do, where you're not talking about anything. And all of a sudden, Alexia runs out in front of an oncoming car, causes it to crash into the tree, and she's left in the middle of the road. Justine, understandably, loses her fucking mind, runs over to her sister, who appears to at least, if not be okay, at least be conscious and, like, unscathed. And Alexia sort of says, well, you could thank me, which is a very strange take. And then we see her get up, go to investigate the accident, and we assume, obviously, Justine is going to, like, call an ambulance, and she's going to see if these people are okay. Oh, no. No. That's not what's happening here. we cut to Alexia in the front of the passenger seat of the car, basically sucking blood out of someone's skull. Straight up, just like slurping away on the side of somebody's head.
It's like when you get a nice cup of Jell-O.
Just trying to get it out of the Jell-O cup.
A little brain matter, a little blood.
A little bit everything.
High protein. We're all about that these days.
Delish, gray matter. And so, as I say, she's eating these passengers. Justine is freaking out. She's trying to stop her. She doesn't understand what's happening. And it's revealed that Alexia is trying to teach her how to hunt. In case we didn't get it from the head eating, she is a cannibal and has been for some time, to the point where she has figured out how to sort of safely and effectively hunt her own prey, which is why we're seeing all of these accidents on an otherwise empty road.
Yes, and there was the scene earlier where they were driving by the accident, too.
Exactly.
There's just so many, I'm just happy they brought it back.
Right? So we see that former accident was most likely actually Alexia getting herself some food. And Justine is horrified. She tries to leave, and Alexia basically calls after her that, like, I know what happens when you don't eat. So you can try, but it's not going to go well, basically, which is where we really get hardcore into the addiction metaphors and things like that. Because basically Justine can't accept her new reality. Like, once her sister makes it real for her, she can't do it. She's freaking out, which is understandable. So the next day, Justine's in class, sort of disconnected, obviously not thinking about what happened. And she's performing, I believe it's an autopsy on a dog with Adrien. And this is the first time we see her really start to notice Adrien in like an attraction sexual way. She's smelling him. She's staring at the back of his neck. She's into it. But here's my question, because they don't address this in the scene. Is she doing an autopsy on her sister's dog?
Okay, that's what I was wondering, too.
Because it looks like it. It looks like it's the same dog. And I was like, is that why he's staring at her? Because she's just going for it, like so cold, and she hasn't noticed? Because Adrien is staring at her as she makes these incisions like she's kind of crazy. And I wonder if that's why. I couldn't find anything online anywhere, so if anybody knows, please feel free to tell us. But like,
okay. I'm glad you.
That was my question, because I found it almost. I was like staring at this dog. I was like, that looks like her dog.
But then there's a dog at the end.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I feel like the father was using that as like as a warning for sure, because it was like, we have to put this fucking dog down because you decided to eat your sister's finger.
Right.
That was like,
and blame
it's such
it
a
on the
parental
dog.
threat. Yes.
And blame it on the dog.
How rude.
But so she's doing this autopsy. She's talking to Adrien about her sister because he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, that's crazy that she lost her finger, blah, blah. And her response is literally, it's just a finger. Like, she doesn't give a fuck.
Both her and the sister definitely become more animalistic as the movie goes on.
Very desensitized to violence, like all of that. It just becomes their new norm. And this is the beginning of that happening. The fact that, again, she's having this conversation so casually while she's literally like slicing into an animal corpse with like, she's not even paying attention. Never mind breaking a sweat. Like, it's wild. And it's nice that you see Adrien seeing that. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? She's so calm.
And
like,
also,
why is she so calm?
I like the fact that they're really good with this film with making like just really progressive toe dips. So it's like you get to see the horse, and that's even kind of stark. And then eventually, like, seeing a dog get a dog autopsy is like, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, and it's just presented in this like very cold clinical fashion, which is what it would be. Like, that does make sense, but it definitely adds to the sense of
it keeps getting
like discomfort.
Yes,
that's going through, because like you can see she's going from being somebody who is an animal rights activist to like, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna slice this thing open because it's my assignment.
Yes,
and I'm not even gonna think about what that actually means, which is crazy.
Not for me.
Not for me. So in the next sequence, we see Justine watching Adrien play soccer with a bunch of boys. And this is the moment where we see Justine's hunger start to hit her, because she hasn't eaten in a while. And she's attracted to Adrien, and it's all tied up in the same stuff, where she's sort of switching on sexually. She's attracted to this man, even though she has been told he's gay. Because especially when you're younger, that will not deter you in the same way, potentially will if you are inexperienced. Like all of this stuff. And she's just watching him. And it's so interesting because I feel like it's such an example of sexualization through the female gaze.
Yes.
Because that's how women are usually shot in movies.
Yes.
And we don't really pay attention to it. But when it's a man, you notice. You're like, oh, girl, you are thirsty. And in this case, hungry. Like, wow. And you can see her just like sexualizing and objectifying him in her mind to the point where she starts to give herself a nosebleed because she's so hungry and she's so focused on this thing. Which, like, girl, if you're getting hunger nosebleeds, like that's not good.
No,
not good. But that is also, I feel like, where we really start to get into the like withdrawal symptoms and like all that stuff. It's pretty clearly shown on the screen.
And then from his perspective, it's interesting because he's almost kind of going on his own weird mental journey because he is gay. And like there's somehow an attraction between them. And it makes the story richer as well because it, especially with the element of them like possibly being in like an addiction, because when you're kind of both into that, it doesn't matter what your sexuality is. There's
boundaries will blur.
Exactly.
Boundaries will blur.
Exactly.
And like also I feel like that definitely ties into the coming of age thing where like, you know, maybe at 18 or however old they're supposed to be, you might think you're gay, you might think you're straight, you might start to experiment and realize that maybe you're bi or like something different. Like I would argue that's part of what going to college is for. But like
exactly. Education.
Figure out who you are, babes. But yeah, I feel like it's very much that. And then him seeing her later and being like, oh, fuck, like totally understandable. But I also get why he's sort of drawn to her and maybe he doesn't understand right away that that's not attraction, that's just connection. Because it's really easy to confuse those two things.
You'll always want to be wanted.
Who doesn't want to be wanted, darling? Come on.
Especially how aggressively she wants him.
And like, yeah.
And he does allow her into his space.
Well, he becomes kind of like a safe person for
Yes.
her in a lot of ways because I think he sees how ostracized she is, but he also sees how hard she's trying. So he decides to just like be her friend and just be nice to her. And then that connection starts to get muddied a little bit because she maybe doesn't understand those dynamics because she's still learning. And like, that's not being rude about her. That's just like more to do with her age than anything else.
It's funny because there's a lot of boundary pushing, but not in the way that you would necessarily push boundaries. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we then get another dream sequence of the dog that looks like Quickie that she was doing the autopsy on, just straight up dead on a slab. Just like, that's it. Static shot, dead on a slab. That's all we're getting. And for me, that very much shows, again, the sort of progression of Justine's inner world where like she's gone from running in place and doing all these things to just like that part of her is maybe dead now. And she's moved on to something different. This is a new evolution. This is a new her. So, bye-bye, childhood.
I want to be a butcher now.
Right? I'm going to be a vet. Okay, so the next sequence is Justine wearing the dress she borrowed from her sister, standing in front of her mirror with her headphones in, absolutely feeling that fantasy. She is rocking out to this like rap rock song that is all about these girls talking about men the way most rappers talk about women, in that their lyrics are like potentially violent, kind of gross, like all this stuff. And Justine is feeling that fantasy. She puts on lipstick. She's making out with her mirror. She's dancing. You can tell that she feels confident. She feels sexy. She's getting it. She is in that vibe.
Give her something to rub against now.
Right? Girl needs a vibrator so bad. Like, yeah, like industrial strength.
It's got that DeWalt battery attachment.
Oh, damn, girl. Woo.
She needs it.
But yeah, her headphones slip out and she hears that someone else is in the room adjoining hers with Adrien. So basically this sequence is about her really embracing who she's becoming. She's decided she's okay with it in this scene. As I say, she's feeling that fantasy. She's decided that she's okay with it. And then she walks outside and sees her sister. And it all comes crashing down in seconds. You can see it on her face. Any confidence that was there is instantly destroyed because of how threatened she feels by Alexia, which is also very common in sister relationships. That's how that goes a lot of the time. And like, I don't know about you, but I didn't actually go to school with my siblings. I went to a different school. So I never experienced that where like, you know, your sibling is maybe older or like a cool kid or something. And then you have to like go in and try and fit in that social dynamic. Like I never did that.
There was a 2-year gap. There was.
There was. Sorry, Taylor, we hate to break it to you, you're dead.
There is a 2-year gap between my sister and I. So she still got 2 years of high school by herself, and then we got 2 years of high school together. And then obviously, she was stuck with me for all of elementary school for sure. No doubt about that. But yeah, you definitely if your sibling did have a certain reputation, you did kind of want to be like, well, she's cool. I want to be cool too. Or my sister's case, she had a lot of parties. So I thought I had to have a lot of parties.
Nice party house.
Party girl.
This is why Jamie's a retired baddie.
Yeah.
She's been doing it for so long.
Definitely that 2-year gap. You feel like you have to live up to some sort of expectation, even if there isn't an expectation, which is kind of funny.
Right? You kind of make it in your mind because it's as a younger sibling, I get the older sibling kind of hero worship when you're really little, where you just want to be like your big siblings because you think they're so cool. And that tends to last a lot longer into adolescence than a lot of siblings like to admit that it does. So I think that kind of plays into it a bit where you're like, yeah, I want to be the cool sibling who can hang. I don't want to be the annoying little one who's a pain in the ass.
Whereas for myself, yeah, I'm always, even if I am going to be known as the pain in the ass, I'm still trying to hang out with you guys.
Amen.
I want to hang out with the cooler, older people.
Yeah.
They know things that I don't know.
Right? See, for me, I have a brother and a sister,
Yes.
so I joke that I'm forever trying to be the cool sister because I only have one brother, so it's me and my sister constantly. I'm nah, I'm the cool one. It's okay. I'm the cool one. It's fine.
You have to have a stereotype. You have to have an arc. There has to be labels. There has to be...
Of course. We have to put ourselves in these nice little boxes.
Yeah.
Come on. What else would we do?
But for real, though, you can feel the pressure of, if they got good grades, you want to get good grades. If they were well-liked, you want to be well-liked.
Exactly.
But yeah, there is definitely that pressure to live up to some sort of fake reputation.
Oh, absolutely. My sister is she's a beautiful singing voice. She grew up singing opera, and I'm a theater dork. So for me, it was auditioning for musicals, and I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I have many skills, but that's not one of them. So I feel that. same, but different.
Right.
Right? It's a thing.
And that's why I really appreciate this film, because there's just not many good sister stories out there. I can't explain it, and that might just be the problem, because it's not that men can't write really well-rounded women characters, because they can, but the complexities of female relationships and sisterhood can be difficult.
It's hard to express. Even if you are somebody who has experienced it, it's hard to express accurately.
Correct.
And I feel the thing about this is it's very real in terms of their dynamic. They haven't sort of Disney-ified it, which you get a lot, where it's oh, sisters together forever. Because yeah, of course, if you need me, I'm going to show up, but that doesn't mean I'm not fucking pissed at you.
Yes.
That's much more real.
Yes, especially with because they're at that age where you either try and work through your childhood bullshit and then continue to be friends into adulthood, or you guys get estranged.
Well, you solidify your childhood bullshit and you don't move on. Basically, it's one of the two. Either you grow a little bit and you grow up and you become friends, or you don't. So,
which is hard.
Yeah, it's hard either way. They're both difficult. Sibling relationships are fucking crazy, which is why they're really hard to portray on screen.
They are.
But I did love this because it felt especially towards the end, it's that thing of I may be pissed at you, I may hate you, I may any of these feelings. You're still my sister. Because that's really what it is at the end of the day. You're still my sister.
You ate my finger.
Right?
I love you.
I love you. Exactly. And this sequence where, to bring us back, Justine has walked out and sees Adrien gaming with her sister and is pretty visibly pissed that her sister is there and kind of infringing on her space and making friends with the guy who she maybe might kind of sort of like. And she's not down. So Adrien senses the tension and is bye, and immediately switch. Honestly, fair. Same, brother. And the two girls sit down and start to game together, and they have that moment where it's yeah, your sister's Alexia literally makes a joke about bitch, you ate my finger. And Justine's response is, yeah, you taste like curry. Which is such a sister exchange.
And also, curry is very, very good.
Curry's delicious, but...
I don't know how that was an insult.
Right? My thing would be did you eat curry the day before, maybe?
It's yeah,
give me the timeline. How long does these flavors stick in my meat? I want to know.
Somebody who just ate curry, it's when you accidentally, it's like the turmeric, it stains your skin for a second. You're
inside of her fingers, slightly yellow.
Like, that means well seasoned. Come on.
Right? That means delicious. That means flavor.
That was the most confusing insult for me.
Right? I thought that was kind of funny because like it's not really an insult, but it's also just like, well, what would human flesh taste like, right? So it is kind of funny. But it did make me laugh a little bit. I was like, you're being a dick, Justine, but that's funny.
Oh, I also like the fact that the roommate was gay because it definitely reminded me of, it's like a reverse Jeffrey Dahmer situation here.
Straight up though. Reverse Jeffrey Dahmer. That's so real.
Like, and they were roommates.
And history will say they were only roommates. But basically the point is like their relationship has evolved, but it's intact. They're still sisters at the end of this. Like that relationship is still there despite the literal horror of what has just happened. And next we cut to Justine having the worst night of her life, deep in what looks like withdrawal, to the point where I assumed it was probably a hallucination, but it sounds like someone is beating her with a chain outside of the sheet that she has tucked herself under on her bed. And she keeps begging Alexia to stop. She assumes that it's her. All I could think when I was watching the sequence was it's very like the biggest wink to Trainspotting, and I loved it.
Which I'm glad you've seen because I haven't spotted that train yet.
Okay, we'll do it later. It's going to be a lot. I hope you're ready. It's a lot. Danny Boyle.
A lot of poo.
Yup, a lot of heroin, a lot of Ewan McGregor. But hey, without Trainspotting, we would not have 28 Days Later. So, yeah, very, very clearly very heavily influenced by Trainspotting. But again, like Julia Ducornau really does pull off those references so seamlessly that it still fits with the movie. It doesn't feel out of place. But this is where the addiction metaphor becomes really, really overt. And that's pretty clear that that's what we're dealing with here. So Justine gets herself out of bed, basically resigned to the idea that she's going to have to eat somebody at this point, or she's just in a bit of a disassociated haze because she's going through withdrawal so badly, which was kind of the vibe I got. And she walks down the hall, sticks her head into a random dorm room, and in one of the most random hazing acts I've ever seen, she is just hit with like, I don't even know how much blue paint to cover the entirety of her body in one go. And she's then shoved into a bathroom with our creepy cafeteria man from earlier in the movie, who has been no brow, Peter, as we named him, who has been painted yellow, and they are told, "Don't come out until you make green."
Horrifying.
Horrifying. And here's my question: what if either one of them was gay?
For real?
Would they just like have to like awkwardly like rub up all on each other and then leave? Like maybe, but like
that's so funny. I like how I was like putting myself in that situation. I'd be like, I would just make myself as green as possible, and then be like,
yeah.
all right, we're out.
We're out. That I just do the thing where you like, you know, run one hand down his arm or something, so your hand's all green. And be like, there, I made green. Let me out.
The concept of consent from both parties is hilarious because the entire film you think like, oh, well, she didn't consent to that, but there's so much stuff where it's like, girl, just they didn't consent to that either.
No, yeah, the concept of consent is pretty rough in this movie, but
yes.
I feel like that also works for this movie. So,
which is great,
yeah. So she's stuck with this creepy dude, and he starts to kind of like rub up on her, and you can tell she's uncomfortable, but she's also kind of questioning whether or not maybe she does want to do this. Like, I feel like it's very much that thing when you're really inexperienced and an experience is put in front of you. You didn't necessarily seek it out and you don't necessarily want it, but it's there. So you have the moment where you're like, should I just go for it? Like, maybe? Because you don't know any better, to be like, no, that's going to be terrible. Don't do that. But so they start to like make out a little bit, and there's like some sort of groping type stuff happening. And we cut to the outside of the bathroom at this party, and we hear him scream. Worth
it.
Oh, so worth it. Get it, girl. Get it. He runs out, and she has bit the shit out of his lip to the point where it's like almost in half. And is like missing a chunk out of his bottom lip. And he's like, she's fucking crazy. Oh my God. Oh my God. And what got me about this scene was everybody kind of just looks at her, but nobody freaks out, which kind of made me laugh because I was like, do they all think he had it coming? Because they know what's happening in there, where they're like, well, yeah, if you know, she doesn't want to make out with you, dude. Like, that was kind of the vibe I got, where everybody was like, yeah, dude, you're kind of a dick. And I guess she just didn't want to make out with you. Like,
Their reaction of just like no reaction, I don't know why it's so surprising because you're right. It's like they don't like this guy. This guy, he has been a sex pest this entire party.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to make green with you. Get the fuck away.
Right? Why are you even here?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally that. Like, it was so funny to me that was the reaction. Just like, yeah, bro, if you're going to be a sex pest, you're going to get bitten.
There's
like,
being picked last, and then there's being picked last at a sexy interaction.
There's being picked last, and then there's being purposefully excluded.
Yes.
Like, two different things.
He like poured the paint on himself.
Yeah, straight up.
Everybody
like,
else got splashed.
That's the vibe I'm getting. That or he was like the first person who showed up.
Yeah, he's there. Well, they're just setting up the cups.
Exactly.
That's
and then he's
awful.
like, would you guys splash me? Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, that vibe. So Justine goes back to her room and is showering, and all I could think was, God damn, that paint would taste disgusting.
Yes.
That'd be so. And even while they're making out, I'm like, what? You'd be eating so much paint.
And is it non-toxic?
Right? That's what I want to know. What's in that paint? And while Justine is showering, she realizes that there's something stuck in her teeth, and it is a chunk of Peter, as we called him's lip. My question. I'm assuming you bit that off with your front teeth, as one would. How did it get stuck in your molars?
I definitely am such a silly goose because I thought it was her tooth that had come out. And then I realized it was the lip, and then she started chewing on it like it was lip flavored bubble gum.
Initially, I also thought it was a tooth, and it was only when she started chewing that I was like, oh.
Yeah, so
My note, lippets.
which I have to retract my statement earlier about how they were showing signs of like eating disorder symptoms because I thought that was a tooth that had fallen out. But the hair,
you know what?
Hair.
From the visual, it's understandable because I literally thought that too. And if she had like crunched instead of chewing on it, I would have been like, oh, she's eating a tooth. But
which is the importance of good sound.
Exactly.
So we know if it's a crunch or not.
But we know that it's a chunk of something else that she's eating. So she gets out of the shower, and Adrien is having a cigarette on bed. And he's actually a really good friend to her in this scene because he was at that party. He watched that happen. And she gets out of the shower, and he just kind of like invites her over, and she kind of like cuddles up, and they're sharing a cigarette. And it's like, it's friendly, it's intimate, but I wouldn't say that it's like romantic. Like he's just kind of holding space for her, and he starts asking questions about like what she's into and all this stuff. And she's kind of like, well, you're gay. Like, why do you want to know? And he's like, well, I'm just trying to like figure you out. Like, you know, like I'm trying to get to know you. Also,
it's nice to get to know people and have a connection with them, even if it's platonic.
Exactly.
It's okay.
It's okay. And basically she's like, well, you know, it doesn't matter because you're gay or whatever. And then she walks away and comes back a minute later and she's like, okay, but it's like really fucking weird. And I don't know if you're going to be okay with it. And it literally cuts to them having sex afterwards. So clearly she has said something about being into like biting or something like that. Like, so I'm assuming not the truth, but some kind of sort of excuse. And they decide to go for it. Which, you know what? Go, Adrien. Experiment. See how you feel. But he's like super non-judgmental in the whole scene and everything, which is why it probably happened, I would assume. And as they're getting hotter and heavier and they're, you know, getting at it, he finally, you know, we see the moment where he gets in her and she's becoming more and more animalistic and biting at him and clawing at him. And like her humanity is basically going out the window as her orgasm arrives. Like this is a thing.
I have down here, Miss Nibbles. And Mr. Risky.
Yeah, because that's a risk for him.
Especially when she starts chomping.
Yeah, because she is fully trying to chomp into his neck to the point where he is like holding her by the hair and holding her back and telling her to stop. And she's just like biting at the air.
So
like,
a blowjob is 100%
out of the question.
No. Yes.
Absolutely not. But yeah, she just clearly is like she's like not there. She's like disassociating a little bit and is just trying to eat.
Girl needs a gag ball.
Girl needs something.
Well, she's getting her something.
Well, she's getting something, but I don't think it's what she needs.
Also, I love the fact that it's your classic movie where she like is still able to have a good time. It's her first time.
I mean, that does happen, but it's rare.
It's because of the fucking unicorn shirt.
Exactly. But as they're having sex, basically, and she's trying so hard to bite him, she basically, I guess, compromises and bites her own arm instead of biting him
like, as
they're having sex. And clearly orgasms as a result of that. as she's like drawing blood and like biting into herself. And he sees it happen and is very clearly disturbed, which like fair. So fair, my dude. That's weird as shit. But what struck me more than anything that I actually kind of liked about this scene is it's not a like glossy Hollywood sex scene. It did feel more real. And I'm going to say that the reason why she had such a good time at her first time is because she bit herself and she's into some weird shit.
She was ready.
She has her own kinks, and that's okay. We love that for her.
No safe word, though.
Oh, that's important.
That should have been discussed.
That should have been discussed. You need a safe word for sure.
Like, for real, you're taking a bite. Like,
Right?
a bite. And it talk about a lingering scene as well. The way she is biting on herself and, like, getting that post-nut clarity.
And, like, staring down the camera as she does it. Like, it is uncomfortable.
If this was a true comedy, she would have looked at him and said, "Oh, babe, did you come?
You good?
Yeah. You finished, right? Okay,
Like,
cool.
Just, like, stand up, like, that was great. And then she's like, okay, back in the shower.
Yeah.
Like, thanks. That was great. Like, I'll see you later.
I might call you next week."
Yeah, I'll text you. And that's it.
But really powerful scene. Definitely.
Just like raw animal energy.
Yes. And very animalistic from her side. Animalistic from his side.
Of the movie.
Yes. Very raw.
Very raw.
Very raw. Raw dogging.
I was gonna say, I assume
much
they
raw.
raw dogged.
Yeah.
I assume because they're also idiot teenagers, so I assume that was a thing.
Yes. Definitely how they, I liked how they did it. I like how the order of the sequence.
And I like that we see it's not just one of their experiences. Like, it's clearly focused on her, but we also see Adrienne's experience in that he's freaking out while this is happening. He's like actively seeing this happen as she sort of goes from like making out to nibbling on him to full on trying to bite his like fucking jugular open. And he's freaked, which like, so fair.
Yes.
But I like that they didn't play into the idea that, like, just because a man is getting laid, he's fine with whatever's happening. Like, it doesn't matter how crazy she is or what she does because he's getting some.
It was an interesting perspective for sure because it's not shown enough. It's definitely shown in a lot of comedies, which it's
not the same. And, like, this is a little more real. And it made him feel much more human, which was really nice.
Yes, it did.
Instead of playing into that cliche where just like, oh, no, he's a man who's getting laid. Therefore, he is happy about anything and doesn't give a shit. And it's like, no, he's a person. And that would be terrifying. Like, yeah, that transcends gender. That's real scary. Like, the note that I put here is Adrien is fucked up, y'all. Justine is, like, getting wild.
That's why his name is Mr. Risky.
Ooh, he's so risky. Mr. Risky.
He's risky as fuck.
Right? And the next morning, Justine sees Alexa across campus walking, like, away from the campus clearly on her way to hunt the next day. And it's pretty clear in the next sequence that Justine is getting more and more uncomfortable and potentially jealous with the idea of Alexia and Adrien being friends, since they're like texting and they're talking, and it's just like she can't handle it. Basically, she cannot handle it. And so she gets into an argument with Adrien where he basically says that he regrets sleeping with her and he's gay and he shouldn't have done that. And like, that's it. Like, we're not dating. I'm not your boyfriend. Like, this isn't going to be a thing and you need to back off. Justine does not take this well. As many young girls do not take rejection well. She did not take this well. And admittedly, Adrien, not the best delivery, but also understandable.
I will say when he had the freak out and was just like, "I'm gay."
Well, yeah, like, I'm not here to pretend to be anything else. Like, I'm gay. And like, yeah, he probably just confirmed the fact that he is gay by having sex with a woman.
Especially if that's your only experience with a woman and she turns out to be that crazy. I would stay the fuck away from that cookie jar.
Right? I'd be like, nope, just dick for me, thanks.
Yes.
Like, wow. Yeah, so they have like a big fight bust up in the classroom where it basically ends with Adrien screaming that he is gay and he is not going to be with her and she needs to get over it.
Which I do find so awful because he was very certain in his identity, and because she wasn't uncertain with hers, you fucked with him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a mindfuck. Like, she made him kind of question himself in that way, and that's really, really hard for anybody to deal with. And admittedly, blowing up in front of everybody is kind of shitty, but it's also understandable in that scenario.
It made me, it added to the uncomfortability that it was, because you're just adding to this like public humiliation.
Exactly. So even now, her one friend is going to publicly humiliate her, basically.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's her whole safety net basically gone, because right from the off, we know her sister's not going to do that. And now he's not going to do that.
No safety, no comfort.
No safety.
No snacks.
No, it's just her. So we cut to a party. A big, sweaty, loud party. And here's my question. We zoom in on the party through the crowd. And we pause for a moment on a couple. She's up on a platform. He's just below. They're looking at each other. They're clearly very into each other. And for some godforsaken reason, she licks his eyeball for like a good 30 seconds.
That's where I was just like
tongue in eyeball.
That made me like question if there is more than one cannibal at this school.
I think there must be. I think that was the hint that couple was cannibalistic. And I didn't, but it's the same couple from the opening party sequence who are dosing each other when they're making out. And I didn't go back to look, but I think I will later, and look in that first party scene and see if it's a body part that he's putting in her mouth and not a pill.
Oh.
Because I don't think you actually see it. I think you just see his fingers, like, putting something on her tongue.
Because you can't, I can understand being hardcore, but if you are licking somebody's eyeball because they have just dosed acid in their eyeball and you're trying to get that lick, then
just find out
too wild.
Just find out where they got the acid from and get some for yourself.
But I feel like you're correct.
Yeah, just like so unnerving, and it did make me think that maybe they were cannibals as well, was also my assertion. But I was also just like, why are you licking someone's eyeball? The germaphobe in me cannot handle this. Why are you licking someone's eyeball? That's how you can spread diseases to people's eyeballs. Please don't do this. Like, no. Also, my dad's an eye doctor, so that's a very like close to home hit for me.
Eyeball licking, very, very strange. Very strange.
And again, lingering on eyeball licking. I'm gonna make sure you see it.
And it definitely it added to the uncertainty of like, are you going to kill these people? Are you going to...
Right? Like, are these people, like, what's happening here? And we see Justine, and she's, one, fucked up. She's clearly real fucked up. But she looks feral, is the way I would describe her. Like, the look on her face, she is an animal on the prowl. She is looking for a snack. And it's so clear. And she's walking through this party and she gets literally a cup of vodka so that she, quote, doesn't have to go back to the bar for another shot, which, like...
Solid. Makes sense.
Honestly, I see the logic, but, like, babe, if you've reached the cup of vodka stage, it's time to go home.
Also, damn. Like, where are you where they're just like, we'll just hand you this amount of liquor?
Right? Who's providing the booze for all these parties?
Like, even if you are, like, you know, as a bartender, you'd be like, okay, well, I'll do it half full.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming it's just other students as
even
opposed
if it
to
was
a bartender.
Another
but
student.
like, yeah, I don't know. Because students notoriously broke. Ergo, who is providing all of this alcohol?
Right?
These are my questions.
Is it Polar Ice?
Is it Smirnoff?
Haunted.
It's fine. But yeah, Justine is clearly crashing out at this point. She's hammered. She's fucking feral. She tries to make out with both members of that couple, both of whom reject her, almost gets in a fight and just like is a fucking mess until Alexia pulls her out of the party. And for me, this was the moment where I was like, oh, is Alexia actually going to just like be her sister and be like, okay, we're going to take you home. Maybe I'll get you a snack, if you will, on the way home. Like, we'll do something like that. And we see her take her to another part of the school and you realize it's the morgue. Callback. And Justine is like half passed out on an autopsy table and you just hear Alexia sort of like beckoning her further into the morgue. The next morning, a clearly struggling to survive Justine wakes up in her bed, hungover as balls, still in her dress from the night before, and realizes she's late for class. So she rips into her class. We notice that people are staring at her. People are looking a little unnerved. And at first you just assume like, oh yeah, well, she was super wasted at the party. They probably know who she is. Like, you know, college. And she gets into her lecture hall and the person sitting next to her, upon her sitting down, immediately gets up and moves away from her. And we see everyone is uncomfortable. Clearly something happened last night. She doesn't know what, we don't know what, but something happened. And for me, this is where I was like, are we going to get super real in like the scary American college way that you all know what I'm talking about, even though I'm not saying it? I really hope not. So basically nobody will look at Justine. And finally, Adrien is waiting for her outside of class and he pulls her aside and shows her a video on his phone from the night before. And we see a massive crowd of students. Some are cheering, some are booing, some are upset, some are laughing. And they're all in the morgue. And we can hear Alexia saying, bite Justine. and you look down and you see an absolutely blackout Justine being tempted, if you will, with the hand of a corpse that her sister, she's down on all fours. Her sister is taunting her with this thing on a table, trying to get her to eat it while her classmates egg her on. And it's very clear that Justine is out of it. Like, girl is looking feral and she's tried to eat that hand. Like, no shame, no question. She's trying to do it.
Trying to get that hand sandwich.
Amen. Fuck. And she is instantly horrified and embarrassed and full of rage that her sister would do this to her. Because out of all the other people in the world, it hits different when it's your sister. It just does. Justine is on the war path. And she runs out, finds Alexia, and the note that I have here in all caps is, "Girl fight!" They get into it. Never mind scrapping with your sibling. This is a legitimate fight. These girls are trying to do damage to each other.
And they become very animalistic, both ends.
Yep. They basically, in front of all of their classmates, start to show them who they really are. And they are ripping at each other. They're punching each other. They eventually wind up locked in a bite together where they're each biting each other's arms and drawing blood and just staring at each other. There isn't really a clear winner. Like, they're just expressing rage at each other, like pure animalistic rage.
Which was just a testament to how true it was at displaying sibling relationships.
Amen.
Sometimes there is a clear winner, but literally 90% of the time it's broken up before then.
It's either broken up or you just sort of like silently agree to a draw and both go back inside.
Somebody gets hurt and it's not even like, it's just like,
no, it's
I
something
just
minor,
ends it. Yeah.
But like, that's it.
Push through the pain. Just kidding.
Yep.
But it's a girl fight. It is a legit
girl fight. Like,
there was some hits. There was some
they're
bites.
like tackling each other. They're ripping at each other's hair. They're like doing everything they possibly can to inflict damage because they are both just like blind with rage right now.
And there's something about a blind rage fight like that. Like, you don't care what you look like.
No, you're basically in like a rage blackout and you're just seeing red.
You don't feel any other emotion. It's just like you could be naked and trying to do this fight. You've got a clear goal here.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck. Like, that person could rip your shirt or something so you're naked. You will just keep fighting them. Like, you do not care. So there's no clear winner, but basically they get sort of locked into a truce and decide that that's it, the way that often happens with siblings. And they go back to Justine's dorm room and clean each other up. And this was another scene where I was really struck by the vibe of sisterhood, where it's like, I'm so pissed at you. I literally just tried to gnaw your arm off, but come here, I'm going to put a bandage on your face because we don't want it to scar. Like, it's that. It's that. And I don't even know how many memories I have of like my sister or my brother. We get into a fight and then it's like, well, fine, I'll help you up. Like, God, you're such a pain in the ass.
Sometimes you have to go somewhere.
Yeah, like straight up. And there's a mutual understanding, but there's no apology. And like, I feel like that's also so often the case with siblings. We're like, I'm not going to apologize to you. We're getting into a huge fight. We're going to separate. And then an hour later, I'm going to show up at your doorway and go, do you want food? Like, that's the sibling apology. Like,
it's crazy because it's like the people who you practice your argument skills with.
Yep.
So you can have better relationships.
Where you learn how to fight.
Yep.
And once the girls are both cleaned up, Justine basically gives her dorm room to Alexia to sleep in, and she'll bunk in with Adrian, basically. And we see for a moment, Justine considers locking Alexia in her room. And you can tell that she thinks that maybe Alexia might try something or something like that. Like, there's still a lot of tension there. But she decides not to. Which, again, sister move. You're like, she's my sister. She's not going to hurt me. I haven't pissed her off again, so she's not going to hurt me. Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Big mistake, babe.
That decision, how they lingered on the lock, I was like...
You're like, oh, no, this is going to be bad. This is going to be real bad. And it is. We cut to the next morning, and Justine is in bed with Adrien. She wakes up. It would appear that he's still asleep. She rolls over and is honestly quite sweet with him. She's just kind of being affectionate. And I think this is the moment where she kind of realizes that, like, this person is just my friend, but that's okay. And I need that. And I love him for that.
And he's attractive, so I'm just going to make sure I feel his muscles to make sure.
I'm just going to maybe double check that he's not super aroused and we can have sex again. If not, we're just going to be friends. Like,
crazy girl.
because that hand starts to migrate south real quick, babe.
Yeah, crazy.
Like, it goes from being real sweet to all of a sudden being like, oh, you're going to try again.
For real.
Because that first moment, she just kind of reaches out and touches his face while he's sleeping and stuff. And you're like, oh, that's really nice. Like, you're just expressing some affection for your friend. And then her hand starts to move a little lower. And you're like, oh, he said no. He said no. But also, he's not moving. He hasn't noticed, which is a little weird. And so Justine pulls back the blankets and sees that there is a big old chunk of Adrienne's thigh that's just absolutely gone. She has been chowing down. It is just bone and sinew and nothing left. And she starts to shake Adrienne and scream at him about, like, why didn't you fight me? Why didn't you punch me? Why didn't you do anything? And we quickly realize that he is very dead. And there's a very big stab wound in his back. And while Justine is realizing this, she also realizes that there is blood all over her face, which means she did eat some of him too. Even if she didn't murder him, she straight up ate him.
Or remember it. Poor girl.
Right? Blackouts. Poor girl.
Like, sometimes people just do that to a pie or a pizza pie.
Some people.
Some people.
I don't know that. Definitely not me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so dainty. I only eat salad.
Oh, but like, seriously.
But you can see that she is genuinely horrified at herself and really upset because she did love Adrienne in, like, kind of a fucked up way. And she is, she's devastated. And then she sees her sister sitting across from them, PS4 controller still in hand, which I found hilarious, covered in Adrienne's blood. And the ski pole that had stabbed him in the back laying on the floor. And this moment I thought was really interesting because she sort of comes down towards Alexia, who's still in a bit of a daze. Suspect she might be, sort of coming out of it, as it were, because she probably ate a lot more. And you see the moment where Justine kind of goes from, I'm going to fucking murder you for hurting my friend, to, this is my sister. And at the end of the day, she's my sister. So Justine, gets her up, starts cleaning her up, gets rid of the controller, pops her in the shower. So we see Justine kind of step back into her role of, like, caretaker in a way, and she's cleaning up Alexia in the shower, like, getting all the blood off of her, and Alexia is just in a daze. So it's really clear that when they feed, basically, they may not actually be fully aware at the time. I would assume it's akin to being drunk in that way, because we're talking about addiction, where, like, you're still moving and all that stuff, but you're in a blackout. You're not aware of what's happening.
I definitely wrote down the note of, like, it just didn't seem that there was any benefit to them eating either. Because it's just like there was, but they just still looked so sick and like uncontrollable the whole time. Mm-hmm. And like the sister did look gray, like the entire time.
A little bit, yeah. Like they look a little sickly.
So carnivore diet, eat some fruit.
Right? Get a veggie in there.
Fiber.
Right? You need some fiber.
Yeah.
Need some vitamins.
Antiox.
Right?
Where's your pomegranate juice?
I thought that this was also interesting that you have the younger sister taking care of the older sister, because so often older siblings are really shoved into that caretaker role for their younger siblings. So seeing her just like take that on, not even question it, like, nope, okay, this is how this is going to go, I thought was kind of interesting too. Like I was kind of into that because in the previous scene, it does feel more like Alexia is in control when she and Justine are cleaning each other up. Like it does sort of feel like big sister.
Yes.
Like, let me put this on you. Like, let me put this bandage on you. Let me get you cleaned up. And this is just a total swap where it's like she can't even function. So Justine is there to fix her up, basically. Yeah. It's rough, guys.
It is rough.
It's rough.
You eat my gay boyfriend.
Right? My gay not boyfriend.
Yeah.
Who you ate.
Which is like, it's got to be somebody's similar experience.
Right?
Just kidding.
Got to be a little bit.
A little.
But again, I actually want to shout out the makeup department on this movie because that thigh that's like eaten away is insane. It looks so good. Like y'all crushed it. You understood the assignment. This was amazing. 10 out of 10. So we cut to prison Alexia has been in prison for murder, which I guess the administration finally decided that they cared at the school. I guess they draw the line at murder, apparently.
Yes, and they have that sweet little sister moment where she flips her off and, like, you know.
Exactly.
Sisters.
They're finishing up their family visit, and as they leave, Alexia flips off Justine, and Justine shoves her cheek, which has the scar from their fight, on to the glass, and Alexia kind of like pretends to kiss it, and they clearly have a sisterly bond still, which I also thought was interesting. Like, even though socially now Alexia will be ostracized for the rest of her life if she ever gets out of prison.
As we were talking about earlier, where it's like your older sibling sometimes sets the reputation. Mm-hmm. It's like, she's a man eater, make her work, make her work.
Whoa, here she comes.
Yeah.
Pick your generation, guys.
Somebody's eating men.
Exactly. Somebody's out here eating men. And we end with a sequence in Justine's parents' home, because clearly she has been sent home from school, either due to the murder or just for summer vacation. We don't really know. And her parents are very clearly forcing a very strict vegetarian or vegan diet on her, to the point where her mother says she's not allowed to leave the table until she finishes her vegetables. And we have our final reveal through the conversation between Justine and her father, that Justine's mother is a cannibal and always has been, and has effectively been, in very small ways, snacking on their father over the years to stave off withdrawal while being a very strict vegetarian in the rest of her life.
Kinky.
Right? When dad undoes his shirt and shows the damage that mom has inflicted on him over the years. Honestly, my first question: you've never seen your dad shirtless in your entire life?
There's no public pool.
Well, also just like, you've never as a little kid opened a door when your dad was changing his shirt?
You're not going to the south of France.
Right? Like, even if you don't do beach, that's fine. But like, just living in a house with people, you will walk in on them at some point.
Which,
like,
you do notice the dad is very buttoned up.
Yes.
To say the least.
The whole time. And stress smoking, which I suspect that's probably why. He knows he's going to get snacked on later.
Seriously.
Right?
It's like, imagine your wife. It's like, oh, baby, I'm really horny tonight. And you're like,
oh, God, can you take some from my butt? It's healed from the last time.
There's like, instead of lube, it's Italian salad dressing.
Oh, that would sting. That's got vinegar in it. That would sting. Like all over. Get you nice and marinated.
Yeah, the oregano flavor.
So good.
Or maybe she's old school. Maybe she likes avocado oil or olive.
See, I was thinking more like a sushi situation, like cut off a slice, make a little nigiri. Like that was, that was more the vibe I was thinking, because then less prep.
100%.
You don't have to cook or marinate.
And that's
kind of it. The movie ends with a look of just horror on Justine's face as she realizes that not only did her parents know this entire time, mom has been snacking on dad for many, many years, starting from their very first kiss.
And that's also the like, her fate is locked in.
Yep.
Like, she has to deal with this.
She can't get away from it. She can't stop it. It is part of her genetic makeup. Mm-hmm. She is going to be a cannibal forever. And the last thing her dad says to her is effectively, "Don't worry, honey, I'm sure you'll find a way to manage it." Which, like, sir, maybe you should help her come up with a better way that doesn't involve your wife eating small strips of you.
For real.
Right?
Yeah. Or like, move to a different place where they're like, we love cannibalism here.
Move off the grid.
Move off the grid 100%.
Become the family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is your destiny. So.
I liked this movie a lot. I wish it was a little bit fine-tuned, but knowing that it's the director's first movie, it's also a French film, so some things, like, I would give it like, how should we rate ourselves here? How are we rating?
I'd give this like a 7 out of 10.
Okay, cool.
Just because, like, I wrote a couple things down. I did notice a few plot holes that did make me question through the movie. Like, you've never seen your dad shirtless ever. Like, okay, that's a little weird, but all right. I can suspend my disbelief that far. Why does Alexia pass out when she cuts off her finger, but she can literally slurp blood from someone's head?
Maybe it was like a simple plan moment where she was like, how could this happen to me?
I mean, I would assume it's just because it's violence against her versus somebody else. But like, that was still a little much for me.
She can handle the shock of causing a car accident.
But not an injury. And arguably a fairly minor injury.
Yeah, and then it was pretty
And you're
funny.
a vet. Like, you deal with blood all the time. What's happening here?
So nonchalant.
Yeah.
All of them.
So nonchalant.
What's your last name? Nonchalante?
No, my name's Chalant. My first name, Nan. And does nobody notice the fact that this, like, quiet country road with nothing on it constantly has cars running off the road for no apparent reason? Because it's got to be at least a couple times a week if she's eating there. Like, I don't know what her eating schedule is like, but even if it's only every couple of weeks, like...
I know how I am after a couple of hours.
Like, people go notice, girl. You got appetite. I can relate, but people are going to notice.
I think we definitely talked throughout the fun themes that they did here, the fun homages, definitely fun. Fun.
Fun.
I haven't seen it before, and this
Nope.
was definitely a fun ride to take. It's fun to actually pay attention to movies sometimes, because when you watch them at home or anywhere else, you get distracted. You go through your phone.
You do.
The thing that I was questioning sometimes was just the motivation of just like the why of some things. I guess like you shouldn't really question all of it, but there was some things where it's just like,
Sometimes.
why?
Well, like, the thing for me is, like, if your parents know that there's a potential for you to be a cannibal and they went to the same vet school as you, they know what's going to happen. They know you're going to be forced to eat meat, which is going to activate your cannibalism. So, like, why would they encourage you to do that if they're trying to hide this cannibalism from you? Like, that was kind of the big one for me. It was like, clearly this happened to the mom and you knew this would happen and you didn't warn her or try to get her not to do it or anything like that. You just have the attitude of, like, she'll figure it out. She'll figure out how to manage it. We did. It'll be fine.
And I wonder if it's kind of alluding to that whole, when you do go to college or any of these things where you are on your own and you do have to make your own decisions. And it's like, well, I had to make the decision to drink or not to drink or do these things. And you're going to have to make that decision too. It's like, well, she didn't have to go. Like, you guys,
Well, exactly.
She didn't have to stay in residency.
No, like, she didn't even have to go to the same program. She could have gone to a different school and studied vet medicine and it would have been fine. But you, like, wanted your kids to go to this one and, like,
to repeat this weird cycle
this
here.
Weird cycle. And, like, I feel like that's akin to, like, sending your kid to a normal college but having no concept of, like, party safety.
Yes.
Or anything. Like, most parents will sit their kids down and be like, okay, here are some basic rules for you to follow when you're at a party.
Well, not...
so you stay safe.
Yes. And also, like, it really depends who you're surrounded around. There's people who go to school that makes me so sad because you'll think that you have this new good group of friends and then they leave you stranded at a bar.
Yep.
And those stories horrify me the most because a drunk female by herself is probably one of the most vulnerable people.
Right? Potentially in a city that she doesn't know. And things like that, depending where you went to college.
Most people go away.
Away from home. Yeah, so you might not know.
Yeah, I was definitely away. And I thought I was pretty party smart because I had partied in high school, but...
not the same.
No, it's not the same.
Not the same.
Also, don't get blackout drunk because you think you can.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Like,
I don't know how that's an easy thing to say, but sure.
If you must black out, just be very sure that you trust all of the people around you, which is kind of hard to do.
It's risky.
It's very risky.
Just
so I wouldn't recommend it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't recommend it.
But also, Mr. Risky here.
Woo! Taking a risk, Adrien. Taking a risk.
That was so funny. We forgot to mention that he was just starting to crank his yank to, I think, his own pornography.
It was gay porn, at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
People are always trying to shove love stories in our faces. So that part was pretty cool, too.
Well, I also
really
feel
liked
like
it.
if it had been a girl that was her roommate, I feel like it could have been really, really easy to fall into the sort of like girls' dormitory that gets sexy cliche, which is so gross and like so not real most of the time.
Especially since Jennifer's body was pretty close in that time.
Yeah, it was only a couple years before.
Yep.
And like any sort of studio would have basically probably made them go in that direction, even if that wasn't their intention, just so they could market the movie.
Especially because it was a very unsexy female sexual awakening.
Exactly. So I like that they just took that out of the equation entirely and were like, no, her roommate's a gay man. Mm-hmm. They're still going to fuck, but he's a gay man.
Which is just great.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Love it. No, it's a way more interesting relationship dynamic than you would normally see. So I'm actually really into that. I think that's a really cool idea.
This is why this film is so special, is because of the interesting relationship dynamics. I for sure thought it was going to be grosser in a certain way. The scenes with the actual cannibalism itself, I didn't expect it to be that way. And I'm happy that it was done that way.
Yeah.
Again, I think the fact that there's the jump scares of not like actual jump scares, but of like gross jump scares, because you think it's going to be gross and then it's not.
Right.
And then you think it's going to be gross and it is.
You think it's going to be violent and then it's just gross. Like,
so what is your idea for a sequel? Or
well, before we get into that, we still need your rating.
Oh, my rating. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You got excited. That's okay.
We do love a good tangent.
We do.
I agree with you. I'm about a 7 out of 10, 6 out of just because there's some things that could be done a little bit better. But for a first fucking directorial debut, this is gold.
Right? I totally agree. We do have some fun facts, one of which is that this was Julia Ducornau's first feature film. And as I said previously, she does not consider the film to be horror, but she does consider it a sort of comedy drama coming of age with some disturbing elements, which I do actually think is really accurate. Like, I understand why people put this into the horror subgenre, but that said, like, no, this is actually just kind of disturbing because of the body horror. It's not an all like out horror movie. There aren't really like jump scares or anything like that. And I think it's way more interesting for it. I think that is a great choice. And if they had leaned into the horror too much, it would have become really stupid really, really quickly. Multiple screenings of the film resulted in audience members being assisted or escorted from the theater after vomiting or fainting due to the film's graphic body horror, which like, maybe I'm just desensitized, but I was like, this is gross, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I'd say I also watch a lot of horror movies, though. And there was actually a screening in LA at the time where theater staff were handing out custom vomit bags, which, like, hilarious. We love guerrilla marketing. Just, like, really lean in.
Love free swag.
Right? We love free swag.
It's free souvenirs.
Even if it's a vomit bag, we love free swag.
If it's got the name of the movie on it, I'll take 2.
It's merchandised. It's fine. It's branded. Garance Malier, who played our lead character of Justine, was only 17 at the time of shooting the film. So a body double was used for the bikini wax sequence just because she was underage, and that would be deeply inappropriate. However, the rest of the film is her.
Which, like,
okay. Well, I do know that in France they have different censorship for nudity. So somebody who is 17 being nude on screen is actually not necessarily considered that shocking. But it does depend on the context in the movie, which is why for the bikini wax close-ups, they could not actually use her body because that would be considered pornographic.
I'm positive there was a lot of nudity. Some of it was sexual, but most of it was like unsexual nudity.
Yeah, it's more about like body changing and like
yeah,
like that kind of stuff. It's not about sexualization.
Yes.
So it's a very different vibe. The scene where the students are covered in blood for their initiation was heavily inspired by Brian De Palma's Carrie, and Julia Ducornau actually stood in the back of the students and was also drenched in blood, not for solidarity, but just because she wanted to know and thought it would be fun. Which, like, girl, I see you. We should be friends. The raw chicken breast that Justine eats out of the fridge was made out of sugar. And the actress said that the scene actually didn't put her off chicken, but it put her off candy for life. So apparently it was the flavor, not the texture, that she just like couldn't do.
Will always be a skinny legend. Love that.
Right? I mean, I wish I could have that much self-control, but I love candy. That's not going to happen.
Same.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out the timer, because that's how we're going to do this, for the Pitch and Bitch Challenge.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are we ready?
Yes.
So, in our Pitch and Bitch Challenge, each person will have 2 minutes timed maximum to give us their elevator pitch of a sequel to this movie. So, am I going first then?
You can go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so Jamie's got timer here. Ready and start. So, my sequel to this movie, after the death of her parents, Justine is now alone in the world. It is entirely possible that she was present for the accident which claimed their lives and, with their permission, ate their bodies. Alexia is released from prison, and she and Justine set off together to try and survive. Justine has managed to carve out an existence with menial jobs and snacking on her boyfriend, just like her mother, who Alexia promptly murders upon her release. They then, Thelma and Louise it, go on the run. Sorry. And decide to become societal ghosts, killing any man unfortunate enough to cross them. Eventually, Alexia chooses a victim that she cannot overpower and is fatally wounded during the struggle. She gives permission to Justine to eat her. Justine eats and then disappears into the night.
Dun, dun, dun.
Done at 1:07.
That is perfect.
Thank you. I tried.
Yours is definitely more well thought out. I like that a lot, actually. Let's continue the sisterly love here, the sister adventure.
Yeah, I made a note that I feel like the sequel to this movie is just Bones and All, which we're also going to cover in this season.
Yes.
But I feel like that's the sequel to this movie is Bones and All.
You'll be perfect because we'll be able to talk a lot of the similar themes, and even that relationship is pretty interesting. It'll keep us through because it'll be fun. Yeah, if that spoiler alert. That's another one. That's another one of our episodes.
That's actually going to be our next episode.
That is our next episode.
Okay. 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready, Jayme?
Yes.
Okay, go.
So the title of my sequel is Cooked, and Justine returns to school, but to be a chef.
Oh.
And she's learning how to cook food properly and learning her love for meat.
Okay.
And that is Cooked.
Oh, okay. I love it.
That was very short.
Yeah, that was 15 seconds.
Very short. See?
You know what? Sometimes you only get one floor on that elevator ride to pitch your movie, so that's good.
Yeah, this was a 4-story building.
It's fine.
4-story building.
It's fine. I love that. So she turns into Hannibal Lecter, basically.
Yeah, essentially. Yes.
I'm here for that.
Yes.
That's fun.
Basically, she saw the movie The Menu a few years later.
Oh, okay.
She was like, wow, you know what?
I'm going to do that.
Ralph Fiennes, I'm going to find.
I'm going to do that.
I'm going to do that.
I'm going to do it.
That is my ridiculous sequel pitch.
I love it. I'm here for it. I think we should get both of these financed.
Of course.
They should both get made. Anybody? Any takers? Anybody? Insert cricket sounds here.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. This is our first pod.
So stick with us. It will get better. But thank you so much. And we're so excited to talk to you guys again soon. We are going to be discussing Bones and All, which will be very exciting to continue our season 1 of Having a Canni-Ball.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum. All right, guys. We'll see you very soon.
And for a reminder, I'm Jayme.
I'm Becca. Bye, friends.
Bye.